Malungil afternoon Komal Misaul Bekladan mula sa PIL Vertical Oversight Hearing. Organized niya Senate Judiciary and Governmental Affairs Committee. Al-Alsil September 11, 2024, 2 p.m. Ikanangartial al-muut al-satellite officer Olvira Kalulaw. Al-holder tial oversight hearing Lobanggela Ministry of Justice, Officer Attorney General, Madirek Officer Gidra Division of Behavioral Health, yung Ministry of Health and Human Services. September 11 direk alaw si Sil maringi klol talaman lam Rigel direk al dokadi mo malat ka sa igid event ebol sa edel continue tial al hearing ergid amok tial hearing ergid al afternoon amo mes el gire la tora drug issue al sila blur belaw niya malwaram lamo oklol mora point el lamo sa edel considering il wal kora crisis and so the law spare tiagid el tial mo sa edel wad kora mo understand hasta rusra effort tergi de bais al gire la huk combat tial tora adrax maigel guk ngaringil lurere del dongot mokkel al gire tial particular issue. Awira daw mo le malso di recognize Madam Vice President Director Minister of Justice el Honorable Che Udu Sangbao Senior. Director Banggeda Honorable Ernestine Ringil Attorney General Ablur Belao, Director ng representatives Bureau of Public Health. Kamal masaw lang los bilmay kaya mo real ka mo mas kamati al mo introduce tirgal al dila kalmel al official smar al roller high officer kami. May direkal dikote al bokro kay sa tirgal group members Senate tira o banggeda al sils. Ngartiang tangkal Presidenta Senate Hokons Paules adala kami tinding kaya tulula Senate al 11 Olvira Kalulaw man mga sulel no sa el direkal al megatam el joiner git direkal ngartiang Vice President Senate direkal member committee JGA mga sulel Vice President Mariur direkal dikpok ngartiang recognize our members nga niya direkal tangakal Basilius, tangakal Sungino, tangakal Talams, direkal tangakal Quartey, tangakal Ramang Saul direkal Joiner Gidra tial hearing. Al-altame domestor madatangani sil agenda gid. Balsa at this point balsa el kadimom tera committee Ebol sa ekal kukadi maskit selwal opening statement tial committee gidra JCA al girel tial particular subject al bangaring al afternoon. Paisak akmal ko ramne tika time a total trial translator sel statement committee motor belaw. Hindi for some reason akmal amrege merong ang niya botang ang klik piltir tial laptop rangeng completely lost the whole translation in Palawan makmal di mare bol sa egal di tial statement ri da ngar madamiu ma di bol sa egal di mamunguy ni dito ka Rigel man lo di al sa egal al kut maklise gid wal translation ng torbela I'm sure that the hero kul madanget to Rigel. I was hoping possible sa edel nga translating il torbela bol sa el for the interested tigel mo mesatiang malubet mo ren sa ngira uliw. Di for now di gumutial time bol sa edel di iwitel ga di brief statement ng committee. Today we convene to address the pressing crisis that is affecting every corner of our society. The rising prevalence of drug abuse and its multifaceted impacts on our people and our society. We are joined by law enforcement and public health officials who will provide critical insights into this urgent issue. The opioid epidemic and the surge of synthetic drugs and the increasing accessibility of substance have created unprecedented challenges. This crisis is not just a public health emergency. It has far-reaching social implications, straining families and communities, and exacerbating issues such as crimes and family hardships, including loss of lives of our young people. Economically, we face staggering costs related to healthcare, lost productivity, and criminal justice expenditures, which basically burdens our taxpayers and hinder our economic growth. This crisis demands a united response, not just at the top level of our political spectrum, but across our public and private sector lines. We must engage in constructive dialogue to develop effective policies that prioritize prevention, treatment, and recovery, ensuring that our approach is rooted in compassion and evidence-based solutions. As we explore these critical issues today, let us focus on forging partnership between law enforcement, public health, and lawmakers to create a comprehensive strategy that addresses the root cause of drug misuse and its impact on our society. It is our strong belief that together we can pave the way for a healthier and safer future for our Palawan people. So as we dig deeper into this issue, let's keep in mind that our goal for this hearing is to explore the political landscape and the policies that have, until now, guided our response to this epidemic. Are our current framework sufficient? How can we strengthen the collaboration between our government bodies to implement effective prevention and rehabilitation strategies? We want this hearing to not only serve as a platform for discussion, but as a call for serious action. We are charged with the responsibility of protecting the health and future of our nation. Together, we will seek to identify actionable solutions and pave the way for comprehensive strategies to combat that crisis. As we proceed, I encourage open dialogue, sharing of insights, and collective pursuit of knowledge that will compel us to take decisive steps toward overcoming the challenges we face. Let us transform today's discussion into pathway for progress and for the betterment of our beloved Palau. Ma'am Saul. Sige de bali sa ako di brief statement tulwa ko di meski da osngala kami til girel tial hearing the albang al afternoon. Sige dul ko mo meski da basis ra discussion madalo ko gid al afternoon. And so the little hearing gid mo ko mo productive in a well sa Edinburgh discuss ay solutions issues challenges the face real al time kora Tomes ay tokora drugs dimral mo maklon la mo kora concern direct la mo o tokol members sa community gid awal south ungil es partra government lawngara lay gid madalaurior yung ungil da bedadum ra OEK gid forum model discuss mar adablu bolo danget masikada adauriol girel tial monday sige da ko di so kadingwa selwal ko opening statement opening remarks sa committee Elmore Segid mo ideawla le kong vice mangukpol sa dim introduce our members ka Minister Justice direct sa TL kukom era Ministry of Health and Human Services mo direct introduce our adal mlutel ngati alal gukmal ngani ako opening statement trakaw I notice ngani sel direct ko statement tel gilt makli in writing ngar madali arbekla adam direct al sabal so am direct ko take us through say the statement tra muk Ministry of Justice ma Obisra Vice President sige dati al lekor ka maula lekor ka Vice President
هذا كمال مساولة chairman الدبير تالتي على المصبيح mo adado algirel tiagi diel algia serious problem blam highlight ring lo giusel opening statement taraw. Malungil afternoon ma Presidente Senate Senator Paules ma Vice President Senate Senator Mariur ma Senator Basilius, Senator Sungino, Senator Talam, Senator Cuarte, Senator Mangasaw, artialte alam lo so amal me madamiyo el alsil sa mamat oto ulkirel tiagi diel al toera adrax. Tsakal mao ay silwase meron kal ngartiang al lobengela angel PS el Director Bureau of Public Safety maldir kangilo aledar el al tutaw kang Director Curtis elobota el alsil senya first steering iloriori ako mre nga sulel mo sa el bang mamal mere el al tutaw el afternoon sa call prota. Nakatel nga bitarnya sa ati amalungi letera umiatan nga obi sumingya 9/11 umilang maldi katobes ra anniversary raw sir obong Director of Public Safety. Tira kalgim tila kalme Attorney General Ernestine Ringil, tira kal nga mle acting ending mla mo kal acting real angal chief ay kagidle marine law sele maritime security fish and wildlife chief tambing ko. Next ring yang kagidle chief Kenny Sangabaong kangara Division of Transnational Crime. Segi dangani sili Narcotics Enforcement Unit reongela Division of Transnational Crime. Ya next mora Chief Kenny yang nga Lieutenant Virginia Umayam. Kagidingel kukongara sili drug testing program ra kagidle Bureau of Public Safety. Tirakal ngartiang to my left, matirakal left Attorney General Asterio Takashi, nga Special Assistant or Office Vice President on Legal Matters. Tirakal ulbang kamamilme nga gallery, tirakal nga officers nga gallery ma adra admin, komeng mlodiak nga clear. Ore ko yulia may garel ang almorachiv Eberlyn Tamingil, makukalbol introducer tirigel na tila kalmay.
Malmasulang ebay, samsulang chairital invitation. Of course, the invitation na malmlablakatak kalmera David Moses, hindi ko kor ospital te alal kora abe o yang aring ilang kabesal staff, maulmak ngartel labangel, nga ka Eberlyn Pelelay Tamingil, nga ka Chief of Division of Behavioral Health. Kaya ka ngartel nga David, tinggal blam invite ringi. Director of Angel de Dulwase, addiction psychiatrist, and Gangangklela Dr. Constantine Bing. Ngaraba kalubang kita, Trigal Timra Opioid Response Network, excuse me, ngariya Suranchini Hector, ngara Crimes Management, Director ngariya Tori Kabokol, ngara Community Support, ngariya Nili Sokaw, ngara media yan social marketing. So saya timel ko pradimel me mga limra David. Masula.
Okay, Madam Lamongil ko makora dik mo sesay. Ngari segi til opening statement til black provider ngi chairman el mora committee. Let me just make 2 points and then I will sa teala Director elobot manguk musese raw erada po the go through agenda. Akot mlaring isel hearing ra August 26, 2024 alobengela Director Tarkong. I need to put on the record there was a mlaring statement alblel may garngi al mal unacceptable most preferable bullies in a bad light. Amle statement ringa dirul mulwas selso matang maya ay gagidale drugs ra as customs ang 2 grams selabora yung lamo 1.5 grams wala blabol ngasong sel tangla ako ra dili lulung wala kala ding mal makit al toel mora ay bulis al maring al lorior al girel ti ay gidial al klo lorior al girel del kut maklil marobra spel ma otorule lay gidial crystal methamphetamine Makulingit try ganyan journals or kami or sige diel August 26, 2024 lang it's a fabricated statement. Al dia kaungil support statement al waisel create a mistrust. Sige naman do madamoreng sila ay gayid il tokol and then coming from a fellow law enforcement officer hindi demoralizes ang malbay di malamalara arbulis tira maringa loriol gidel tegi del toy. Sel mo mang ngungerung al sokal mo nga wasay malamol maurior. Aurior at kal stop madamorong siya chief kani sang bal mamad adu al gidel aurior al malmol mal marara ng Carix Enforcement Unit. Actually, kamitil wasay al sumang nga bebira question sa kamil mo di kal enserling motomalia ongoing investigation mal ubeng motomalia tale-tale laurior al ku koloruringi able to be iwal accept el wasay sa gidia gagidegel ku mo di kal sabi el longir. Kami kedra a final point. Final point nga gel bebira recommendations for amendment to legislation. Ako, tapo Mr. Sela, al-mastrira bulis, ateal, al-sugum ta-test al-positive, etamora rehab, malamol-malorior. Bolsa edal amend ringi, police officers should be held to a higher standard. Police officers, tiyakal waikida, adra balul, dimla ka tunga aleda, enforce ala balul belaw. Tirka, oh boys, mang sugum ka pulis test el positive ra crystal methamphetamine o spela ice el sabi el terminator ngi say del time that requires a la mang dolingit el wasable to be amend der say del section ra la bolo say. And then along these lines malolingit Presidenta Senate, Vice Presidenta Senate, floor leader mga senators mebo do mesra awrol makarang atol nga se or nga addiction tangal-tangat tirgel nga niyaw dutir ar tulungal kartir alhara ortir matasweb kal mahuiriping malubet mo ramarigel al malaw grul al mo tiakal addict tal mortial crystal methamphetamine nga amo mga ado achieve hindi right now akong das nga se amal klol ngal songas kita dia kal sabi dal waigel balur arwa Singapore capital punishment trafficking of drugs kokodal malubed wa Duterte extrajudicial killing dimiralul mo dar drug dealers manguramla mo safe huiriping as long as dolmol al dia kadoru lay gigid tiakadwa to terte, tiakadwa igel balul capital punishment, en giredal invest the resources lomkar to help rangalgedal al tira addicted, because of the demand, en ngaringiya oturulle legal al drugs. Mang akuradi ang mal agagidal 3 points, okore yung mal masaurate ale ngaringiya abeklada mo niya te aliren mga dadu, selbol temela astereo takasya kukmo nga niya pol lol ko presentation lo bangkela amle acting director tamdi ke blokundi el alta makmalon kita makma yung masanga a director elob tam si el kukti mokmo nga sisi el afternoon.
Will swell by President, Vice, floor leader, members of the Senate, rest of the conference or agote akmalwa meron kon merbelaw. Of course, I've been coming since Akwitara Kalsora 1998. September akme akwadirga mlayas aktirgun mem sisi abne makram leo all try dim laka sorul hire ngak so in and out and then finally lera makulia blira dmake gore el mutu mamri gore mlai lepto atex me and eventually President Tamne tracked me down to Portland, and as a result I'm here today. So akna mitra chief I get divisions last week, and not in detail ni kwadi milara kwadi te mesrafa ay gelo to nga tilureng sa tir na mo ga gidel wala concern na public magamiw rabluat agumes tigel chiefs marbolis en akumrang la sa gibo aboltar mama gi mororeng smam gut putlita rol kami a expect mamal moruli agumra la sa asgum giramar bolis ma sil bureau public safety giram mo gain our respect travel vice bursam kami au tiregers show respect to us as well and only then agumdas niya sa gut putlita bloat aktiru tigel bolis say nga diak ene mile gormi nga parte tel team kuri tel team mo complete mo sa makalor aktiru tigel diutilo say bolis ak mer wakul solal nga niya a chain of command e diregel standard agel nga babra everyone else le gami ya enforce Allah ra blur bela marba boa expected to behave better than most average. So ang tuwal ngam sisi aku bda sasing malum sa elm katmok. Hindi nga kamalos marala siya traditional leaders as well as elected leaders, traditional leaders, and need to involve in this whole issue. Ang nga blue, tawag nga ako lang senggether by Senator Boris every now and then maluwi kumil mudadura ay gal state ay gagil tanmalelakar maba sila blu aktegol dilura kasi asumag ngani tigel bolis lumilaw perform the duty beyond the call of duty and get the reward there tigel substandard behave ready agad the censor tier the disciplinary tier the rebuke tier the suspended it, and that must be done. Aktiru advice ma President will do my best as long as you guys back me up. I'm here and I'm ready to work, even though I'm not past retirement age. The Tiabluak, and my intent was to October soldam na sakli lutul mervelan meuror. See what I can give back. Hindi ko timlang sorry mga katyal finally to the American. Makmarmang and I accept the job with honor. E mo sirko to provide sa break. Hindi malolita playing sila Senate, the House of Delegate, but entire Blue Bell to get involved. But this is a crisis. And bisa diakal si iltitire gut mutli mal diakal sabel hindi gume sa tirma ungdo tira I see the potential in them ngel build that discipline to more discipline e mo bang litial really la setia gut important lagi ta rely at tourism sila mer belar ade lora to mo sa yang sel bluawa say ba ngari to mo solid mutan may edi kun mo sex to bringi hak beto ang mo beto kay ngara so kan di elege bo mo apply review o man sulang
Okay. Oigamot sulang direktor. Akmal di final lang utulol maskaw. Mal masaw la direktor regel tingel mal nga sulel kilingay ngutial ngara al mo direktor Bureau of Public Safety. Isil hotel kwa global gul dili malkora the bogal sir dulla setya balwak and I think kidro gul ngartiang oba sa idro daso setya balwak call to public service mang akdi mo ay sloseng maral maring al arbuli sa the higher tier ma numbers makti ngul mo tiamo last tingi gilel 221 Segi dia wayal optimal number el drur tani di el alsilsing 153 tirgel wal sworn na lobat el bulis ngaring ya Kawa vacancy, mang segi dia wayal kire dal umeringil number. Komal masaw na increase sa budget, mangaria ay kidele funding, di segi dia malmaringala dolto da advertisement and dia kara adal ko niya. Di ilal ngaria as a leadership ra Bureau of Public Safety do misal betula Police Academy. This morning ara dire kal statement rin dire was mo actively global kula da actively recruit for police officers. Mako malmusulang kita mong opening statement.
Misale Vice President malblakatak kal statement raw misel walkoro oseng malgire la tial albangalet tirigan malmaring asule la vessel director sel guk osengel even though ang el silseng wal first year officially on the job and the masasel walkora ng lelarangul gire la blur belaw may kay gidel albangalet la blia pulis makumrak na sila igal maral mel klapse kadamo plakarngo dolor lolong sera director material adal mo se bedel al smisi aurior rabla pulis el mom sisi may kay gidel al blamdul kora nidra tora resources ma aigel gukora milisi arandiar pulis aigea botakay ng sol kutmok la yang mo se bedel achieve aigel goals ra blur belaw ada mesra atendar giden telgibel wal gamata we press with time makti mo lingit ma tirgel nga listra atendal mo mga adu bol se bedel kora di mo mra dal di meskida quigel update traigel luriol albangal ay gigidul kuk area officer kamiu bol se bil kora meskida starus raurior o si sulta mo kora di makatak laigel wal challenges maluwing tokol mamdaswing ada kay ngasol kutmok lang mo sa BSMC audior ay gigita kumdaswe siya ako lertial hearing asal tan mo mdingik na say ngaraygel areas of support sa bedan mal almas kami yung mo muton mo sisi audior o sisilta me kada odal aklita gidel guk makamadara tora drax el mo sa bedel al sob akaltriar other belaw ma blue belaw gidel Masay kita aktimol ngit tirgel guk ngaray kay gidel kakaros lobbies mom sada ay gel guk talenting ila aurior also edel goradi mo mindful el gidel timing leng kum tabaning adirgal ka ngani about tokolungil questions ma kora comment senators also edel guk kodar se kada discuss ra tay gidel time tangal tel hearing so with that by klutulo ideolo legong nga niya ko adim le somel mura era do mura igal kukura briefing artigal hold igal kakaros lobis
Kamasula ti alle Senator Aldabel akpay di waseme the statra hearing legum da saigel so kalmal ko eventually met two of the SW ko an sulang
dambal waisem the mursel el gotol tapigra discussion ergidel al afternoon Sel Masadal Gira ongoing and current drug enforcement efforts to combat the spread of drugs in the communities. Ang artiyang acting director, Chief Tamadik, Lali Akora.
Sulang chere. Ako te Diswa del dire kalmera ngasule la opisira custom kom la dire ngasaigel el cases el me apen airport tamal plakarantil loro lo vantilar ata drak se bere de bokturnia chibra amos modim adi bay dire kalon tila blia pulis el girela amalasam el Robert Tial drak sabol se bedel testra protocol at ngaringa la ngaringi mil subedel testra national ma state governments rogul employee mil legal tora draxal ngaringa okyag en malmol mil mem trager ya bola ka okyag en saya gisal mal klolu ule tora draxa di mer del pelo mang kora di mo seguida ngaringa mo germa ang ral gidel ikel bebila bolo sa da chibra draxel already Maroko.
Ja, مساولا قمنا سكمل mention mal importante point seguir de la sed al el mogodia demand en tial toya modia necesaria adlo sisbling modia adlo mar when the buying stops and the selling will stop eventually seguida qumda sendire kel kawngil lokora marap tulu de domestic mel semgaradore ay gal program el momlisi ay gidel members edel achiever seguida el goal eliminate tial rogil demandra adraksa al sablu bela even though reality la adi al salsa edel completely eliminating in at least the guk minimizing aba chip ngari aku kaso man sel girela sel guk area gara
will tasil se James Sulang. Mawadi murtata mali mal soai kita murtata madi ngana tela aldadu. Kama madi 7 police officer tracks including nga chief magi 8. A number regal 14 or 15 alaf. Magi murta below 50% al door officer tracks. Nganya beto guys bilam sapit officer ichi indikti piga tora draxal meth in 16 ringi yara adumura January mere la September in 16 ringi ayida agaisra amedel ngari del time imtede kol mesa news ngani igel to banu segem na file ratang ma arrangement ngani lam kolbus last month ngani lam kolbus iga igel rule serta urior iga number ang article 16 nadula director yaktir kamla doli rom kala presenta kim ora legal state visit ida agri role ngatiang lasi kita ta ngatiang al kabit taptu kabit ablem masen tang mra konge lo pangabil lasi ngat eledro kui bodo tak ro lo jor esing mal sibet mal close sa tareli nga ka mit tel konge lasi ngoisi silim sigi morior yo pangel officer ichi time to time investigation ikaw pagkalo loro mangkay da kam nasin tigim tiagit lenda do de talge selbo tira kumdo loro girel alaktimos pwede sila sing alsukum na dula custom director sel lokte talge tel drax ra airport for example say ang arsegi do nga stat investigation in every day nganya other office drax office anar ngar airport every flight ang arselo nga other custom ligi palmak loro Mokter siya imo katiagit asukum ngani adopte lo ba drak sa mesin sa belaw in right there nga sa tawyor tial drak sa diabol overnight akmong gid hindi nga sige dim matmok la chain ra ka studi marogo matransfer mo ang kalbulis ang asibu sa drak sa start tayo yo start sel start ek maka office chi start kami nit lo yor hindi aksel tokol daw to la sem mangarget tiang makarang Takali babol chesi, takali makarang, tong plamorger, no, ayga modiak. Ayga level challenges sa nadulia, Madam Vice President, umarak mo siya HL adil mo ko akruya nga kan di mo siya HL so koramo ngot out siya. Nga kan lamot 25 years of police. At 20 years rin nga office sa Trax. Kung tirawa director former director now mere tipto director sa chief sa narga expense ra kal ngaras tora drax di mered ingal ada to mi dia kalbong dongi level top edition de repeat operation actually tiangaling aklo no tiradra aichi madium siti atang parda attorney general sulobang kamam legal la aga matingara aga nga odayo lasing transition ra abelaw ma amerika la sila Mungkin tahu penting ada kabar dulu kami itu menteri. Muk challenges sel alta mga kadiduli alta so penting ada fishing egi pangalo malungil kita isa malungil ding kidire ko kay sige kamo opos ang arakle la tokoling tiram tu ringi ma gimo paka idar kamam di ro ra ndi gula do sige ko ko missing challenges sa wisa draksa differences ra apera adra la ra South Pacific ma adra la western Oy, nganya recommendation na to de akmal ko ng recommendation. Akartiang lo ng siya subak pulis ites positive ra ice. Imi kunit bok pero lorior. Hindi kasi bakal kay na respect adra blue. Ida ka expect to respect adra blue. Nga respect adra. Kom ko ngel iway ika karadrax ital bulis sa baldo rabo sa talur belo kom konger sei dia ka konger dia ka safe im iwai yak pulis sa tibradrax ya baldo rabo sa pangkartang no at bay mir kami sa mail bon nalla immediately bon mir ka adlo yor right from there elak the babysit wala say mum karam no di mo mir kital sing prices sa tibradrax therefore ito stop ringi stop tabla pulis kami tolong sa news ngara pulis dire kan involve ringi bigay git bol mereka ka idai luasi dia ka x-ray dia ka clear no dia ka git akpai dulu itu se me dulu la mo assistant tra operation ka mangargi di mo mes kamo kita udah suam tara mam ngwa am da mi emong abon the next day karikla ngora polinen tegal la sa domes ya ura rangargi mal ngani ala urior ding makpel sa se me dulu la al mal sing suma to milala turadrax eng natumali Sulang.
Sulat Chief sa Barcel ngamal comprehensive lo sing ngamal girel tial lurira tora draksak kumrak masing segidel recommend ringi success ringi masepal sepel dal mesringi daralil mo zero tolerance any member police force malibang law enforcement المو دي قاعدة tolerate involvement كتير يجي كده المكيت الجار. يعني ده شيء policy advice الأجيرة المو discussing among us ourselves as policy makers the message messing makarado rera يعني malo spera ungil recommendation kami ma igel kwal al guideline kami igel la amat maklela la policy mo achieve say gid teal. Attorney Rangil, akum dasya ka officer ko ala at handle ay gigidel omsin dara prosecution ma ay gigidel cases ra drugs. Kami dol nito ka mampals emel guk teams kita siya sing ra urior to ka prosecution. Ay gel guk mo mweseng ungil recommendation ng MLCL mera kami team sa edel mo consider.
Kamasulang Chairman, ngil yatasil sila ko kami rokul senators ng artiang komsula rate alal guk sa ekal present kasi ngara alel officer AG tiang kumda sa kumlamo madengel ngaringi sele PowerPoint well black submit ringil mo ra staffer kami ra mis ngiral mau mo kumla mesang alwasing wangara tretel lagi mo prosecute cases makama maurela mahmal dependrar bulis maklisi iraurerir selgisang almo issues or obis nga el altime agi makasar adralla talk may maktim algol waise kami al ahmal madin hindi ra kalmaring kami lo sigra adralla ar kami el altime akukti update nga rin tere el adal kung adu urtir el gira la possibility may oreo rebelaw akot el momonda tira udod so mal kada mal ng tangating da committee mo sabi ilgo ngay ma presidenta sabi increase au de la a special prosecutor ma a public auditor may lagi guk mangiresel guk mo sabi elwa se tirigal adralla al me lakal follow tial salaries kera civil service malube mo ngas au dir other rogu including other civil service gida ISP abuela special prosecutor elang interim Miss Hatzler Mr. Tewi del tigagi del $125,000 sa sabi mo dudir el all time gida rogoy I guess adi nga yaw dudir including President Trablur Belao for mil other Belao kora marur loreo kuklabor baba dudir kara amre der tial belu so senators, yeah. Well, other rogoy. I mean, I guess ang more qualification that other than the el altime other marigel lawal patokaw dudi that other belaw. So, please mo Mr. say because kamama other belaw, give that other belaw directly just as qualified as our other marigel. So, obviously, el ang maldi tewang our prosecutors ringi. Hopefully, tiragi dal adam mo accepta ay galgudo del book of tire musabil me oreo rebelaw. So for prosecutors at tede ongara like felonies one al other while ongara like extra drugs el all time kamama obis el atwal te del adra Fiji marula prosecution mawan el adra belaw. So el atirgel gumester tira di adal mla skura alla e adra alla al adra merigel vai mal direct recommender se ending selbol mata arbasul en gira del dihar ngod al adal mel marula ore gida continue lo sig. So akmadangyan adra transnational crime NEU Narcotics Enforcement Unit tahmal huknos malobon trier adra marigel loreor makna mga durtilo sa komdio utakang ngod omoreo lobon trier kakarosel adra la. So gira dal ko operate temrula ay galureor morsel gotol kurababal sabeed. Issue lang direct crime labe dia kala bergid mo katol durok lai kalkal murakwam ad opte merbuli sa spend do del mura travel el murakwam mom tam drugs mat analyze ala murakwam merkong merbela e guk pangil e guk adra gim adra la en dia sa amlore del file gal gays les el one said the file gays en gire del morning trial within 70 days. Mga ramong adra NEU small as hindi mo fala guys yung sabel merul hindi sel guk mauril dira halmela result trakwam either guys dismissed maluwagi as continuance court up to the court kung elong ira excuse ndia ay gida dira kalgira de lomes el gira legal guys drugs within the last 2 weeks and dimletang 4 or 5 agays will give file. Of course, I got udel, especially sel involve other law enforcement officer and also other blue bolom das rasi on kuk tartir mang kadamingil. Mar ada kaulura ang weekend agi ulura el trial file or del file ay galgays melang kuk di dependre bulis el rasi tanang may gal drugs el morakwam so el tuwa da lab report el may agi dagi mo spera court le ay gel while egel test lo rules el ngai drugs egel kal accept ta court egel di test kits man dia kal sal mal scientifically sound mangira de lo mangir engel adra alabra kwam el melo laba a report en usabe el mora a corte el voltral en trial ala ka me moringa a pre agreement nga direct malo mara egel tingel vice president le acting director ma chief sa nga bawal wase at bulis na kalgir involved in drugs kami all tau tala mahit umang dia ko ngela se sela ang ngaramang ngaringi kada mal mastria adaptol teal direct mo mga sangale ang kagida umayam masar murtul girel follow up mar other hospital girel di ada test positive dia albelo reor ese record del ngil madel hopefully kuk ngar madadal club say and kal sa elme kuk public service system rigid lakangering il mutul mo pulis malubal law enforcement officer etya kuk ti hearing na Ministry of Justice direct lang yan ng law enforcement officers direct giril mo tested ko na dia kadreng saigay so other Ministry of Justice na malblakaran dil tester adrir Michael baby agencies mar adal law ngara alaw reoral gidil mo effect already dal skum tamalay kal mahital ka adira kal gidil mo tested ma gimal diol ngita ngesor kamiro kul gidira aududirar bulis of course ang lorba budget tir mang hopefully ang kagin nga nga besel director ti ka maring alaw ready giri lungi ludud al mar adra la obisra ejim direct giri lungi ludud not only rigegin I mean the whole government na mo time giri the longas aududirar ata ore di maral momring la audo da ding aryo so other hospital I mean I got rogul ministries marogul adalore kabalment hindi kay kita boktu ang sumanyak mal specific al garmil giri la gaisel pending el alsabegal ensel and el tamalia aureor el maral I'll be more than happy to do that kung malmsular at teal
sila ramal kara lakatak al recommendation raw may gelguk singa malgira legal ngal sang sela aureor akom na siya kada rogul agree na sing maral limitation ra human resources sergiden segida tara mal uling wal sorol marala urior may gigid el bebir talantingil la luud lual gora a prevent tergid man diakal sabe el tega teme del gutmok laigal uriol morsel lungil misel tabora karagari level sabe el may gigid akum nasang bebir areas el ungil boda adura uriol edo mese dagat makliawan el gora comprehensive la ang amen da gigid el necessary aspect ra rules ma luud ambos elsmisi aurior man taking into account of course ngal sa ngasel imada ma our resources sergid aigel recommendation na kalgire la aigel gukora incentive ma adjustment ra compensation ra bullies marala nga law enforcement dirigal mo omes kumrak masyada increases sa igid luwal kora incentive mar bullies bol sa baryaral marula ureri lo dengek na say they're being compensated at level ra compensation that commensurate ra rang laureri ma challenges al tira albang lang umnas dirigal el so leader sa igid al tokoy mang agimral continue lo spare kamil mo help pergid el gut makli sa igid el recommendation ya botes edel meda dalmal martial agenda kita kada morsel tukora drug testing ma rehabilitation meda sa telel lieutenant umayam malguk kadi mo maskit sel segida kumdas en guk roller ngil bla bulis el guk segida program kam guk maskida osengem ma guk kora the quick overview telurion moruni na sa ngayel kora challenges am albangal yang rasa edel sa baklar ngira telurem
Kote militasil sa maramil senator sa miskamamati alamar at Ministry of Justice. So nga ka wal miltut kal almo o nga el coordinate oversee kal tukura track testing Ministry of Justice. Di wala ko mo rin so kal sayid albo kulkuringi mama AG ma chief ra NEA ma acting director ma vice president. Sel mo chance ra la tukura track sel positive ang ginaman di mo muna kalulur. Mamamukong say giramal sel integrity amal cloud to trailer pekal sils ra welam sa wal kura navigation system ra sel gim executor welam man diswa kalawais sa Ministry of Justice sira lomo la 2022 with the support ra public health laboratory ma behavioral health yagim la kutmok la 8 el test ay last almost 4 years mawal gim lam test ra rogul police mar rogul civilian staff almulmutra inmates agi kon la test ra vice president Minister of Justice, Almora, Attorney General herself. Matara ko ra challenge ra ato ra drug testing agi bilol bulis ya kad adu ra tulong alam tirigal ko ramlo tilor mlo positive ra tukura draksa gigot lo marangal masing wal tamle bitre ko mam tigal ko marangal sa igid masi sel bulis en gira dal integrity gid ma aklangar ma property ra blue asi ako to priority gid din diso alp masa tigal ko ministry tiga role first responders. Let's start lungil example la Ministry of Justice ra tukura drug testing. Kumarang at maseng malungil one initiative ra Ministry of Justice lagi moruni. Mandi yegi de halongan nga gere.
Sila Lieutenant umayama Mal take note ay gigil guk recommendation na ka masel guk cost nga malgila la guk to rehabilitation ma testing program gidra not just for the law enforcement ma kung dasin aungil de expand ringil more ay gil rogul sectors ma agencies niya so adal otil mo public at maseng giril nga niya trust kami tirgail mga regal madalauriol leng tirgagi del el show masen dia ka ma kabalmenta dia kal tolerate any form of drug abuse or employees sa kabalment das siya ultimate el goal so adal gut makling mo sa el ensure trust adal ablu kay legal al luriol dorul sira ko tel part tial oversight kadam limit lo bangela customs ma ada post office aldasak na se bado meter tire ko podo mesel guk effort tel girela ang border protection ma prevention drugs el mesois probably belaw and then tagi del wal second part kado mesel blal tu drugs ablu belaw ma igel guk effort tel gidel guk combat se gidel distribution ma abuse to drugs. And then nagigo amdasak na se invite Bureau Ministry of Health, Human Services, particularly Division Behavioral Health, tigay ako ko handle tigel wabol victims material adal tiram na hospital al drugs wrongfully to spearing tam namo wal addicted namo nga niya igel wal impact rak lang ara tiram tigay program behavioral health o algo kal handler sa igel al aspect ra urior so adal direct al batial te al lebo odrong siya galam te era Division of Behavioral Health Mr. David Moses malguk tibol piskida di gora di quick overview program mal tira order three may guk effort tira ma challenges at tira face as they carry out their work. Ang presentation el projector nga screen dito nga kasi nga betul tel wow
Ali test Lik Malungil Ita Sils and thank you for inviting me. Thank you senators, thank you vice for inviting me here to talk about not only our program but the crisis that we're facing, namely drugs. So I'll begin as soon as it's there. All right. Okay. So some of you may know me. I'm David Moses. I'm the program manager of our community guidance center at the Division of Behavioral Health. Some of our clients think that our program is a new thing. It's been here for a while under different names. We've been known as Padool. We've been known under Omult. We are 100% federally funded by SAMHSA. Our services are open and available to anyone in the public, no questions asked. As long as you are in recovery and you would like to use our services, you're free to come in and make use of them. Some of the things we offer are addiction psychiatry, pharmacological therapy for substance use disorders, SUDs, addiction counseling, peer-to-peer services, support groups like AA, the Matrix model, depression and anxiety model, SUD education, and we also integrate spirituality into our services. So in the org chart, if you would look at the bottom towards the middle, highlighted over there, is where we sit in the org chart for the Division of Behavioral Health. Now we were asked to talk about what the process looks like from when a client is referred to us all the way to when they're discharged. So the presented is the flowchart for that. So we have clients referred from the court, from the prison. Sometimes employers refer them to us. Sometimes it's referred by other clinical providers from the hospital, from other providers at BH. And sometimes clients walk in because they've heard of our program and would like to make use of it. But no matter where they're referred from and where they come from, they all have to go through our screening process. There's two parts for that. So for our screening, one of the things we do is we want to look for any existing medical conditions to give us an idea of that. what also we do is we ask for patterns of substance use. So their history of it, the pattern of use, and when we get that information, that helps us to judge the severity of their substance use disorder. And once they finish with the screening, they move on to our addictions treatment program. That lasts about 6 to 10 months. And depending on their case, I may also refer them to our psychiatrist so that they could receive further services for that. But once they're finished with all of that, they're discharged. In case they need like proof of completion, they also get a certificate that we give them to the clients, but we also keep a copy at our office. Now I'll talk a bit more in detail about what we actually do. So I've talked about the screening. We look at existing medical conditions, family history, pattern of use and history of substance use. We also do psychosocial intervention. That can be one-on-one with the client or in a group setting. There's counseling meant to treat substance use as a disease as opposed to like a moral failing that some people think of it as. Some stuff we do is building insight. That's to recognize what's going on, think about things that clients normally don't think about, and to be able to actually see what's going on. And once we identify those, we can change them, change the pattern of use, change it, And one of the things that most people don't understand is that relapse is a part of recovery. But even though it's a part of recovery, one of the things we do is we teach preventative skills so that we mitigate the amount of relapse that happens, so that it doesn't happen in the future. Another service is we do appointments with our psychiatrist. He does psychiatric assessments. That's a more in-depth assessment that looks for medical conditions. He also diagnoses clinically if they need further treatment. He also prescribes pharmacologically. That means that if they need help in medically for managing symptoms, he may provide a prescription for it. The appointments also serve to monitor symptoms, basically to see whether symptoms are getting better or worse, and what to do if it changes. He does one-on-one sessions, education for substance use, the risks, what it's like, any questions the client has. He teaches coping mechanisms, stress management, things like that. We were also asked to provide data on the types of clients we see. So from fiscal years 2020 to 2024, we've seen 79 clients. 31% have been referred by the prisons. 33% have been referred by employers. We have also been referred by the court and from other medical providers, but also we've had clients who have walked into our program. We were also asked to provide information on a success rate, but since recovery is a lifelong process, we don't define it as success. But what we do have data on is our completion rate, those who complete the program. So for the completion rate, 65% of clients who are referred by their employer complete the program. 25% of people from prison who are referred to us complete, and 35% from the court-ordered complete the program. More data. So we were also asked to categorize them by gender and age. So for gender, majority of our clients are male, but we do see female clients. 13% are female. For age, about 29% are in their 30s, 25% are in their 40s, another 25% are in their 20s, 16% are in their 50s, and 3.8% are below 21. We also categorize them by what substance use disorder they have. So 67% of our clients have a tobacco use disorder, 66% have an alcohol use disorder, 62% have a cannabis use disorder, that's marijuana, 23% have a stimulant use disorder, methamphetamine, and 5% have an opioid use disorder, fentanyl, tramadol, things like that. We also took a look at data from the youth survey for 2020 to 2022. What we've seen from 2020 to 2022 is a 7% increase in a use disorder for prescription drugs, a 9% increase for methamphetamine, and an 8% increase for inhalants. What I also wanted to present was an emerging drug issue that we need to prepare for, ones that we've seen in the US and we will also see in the rest of the Pacific. So it's been labeled as zombies because that's what it looks like. It looks like it's out of a movie, but it's actually a sad reality for what's happening. This is what happens when things like fentanyl and xylazine and other drugs that are mixed into other drugs get introduced and affect the community. And that's what we're working to prevent, to make sure it doesn't get as bad as we see in other places. One of our projects that deals with this is our State Opioid Response Project. It aims to build Palau's capacity to handle fentanyl and the upcoming opioid epidemic. Because it's not a matter of if it's going to come to Palau, it's a matter of when. Because just like COVID, we want to prepare as much as we can before it actually comes here. So one of the first things we wanted to do was make the public aware of the problem. That's why we joined radio shows to educate them on the fentanyl crisis, what it actually is, what it's going to look like, things like that. We also provided overdose prevention training to first responders, other relevant personnel, the first people who see the problem when it comes, so that they're aware of the problem, they can recognize the problem, and they're ready to deal with it. We also visited schools to educate teachers and students about opioids, integrate the curriculum into their curriculum. We distributed naloxone to key locations, the post office EMT, so that when we do see overdoses for opioids, they can be mitigated. Here are some pictures of the lectures we've done. At the top are the doctors and nurses, and at the bottom are the border control. Another part of our SOR project is what we need to build up is a 20-room ward, also known as level 3.7. It's medically monitored intensive inpatient detoxification services. Now that's a long list of words, but what it actually is that what it's going to look like is that clients reside in a facility and then they can receive services there. It's 24-hour care, it's on-site, there's on-site staff available to treat clients, there's going to be services for withdrawal management, standard medical services. And one of the things we brought up is if we do build a facility, where's it going to be? And one of the ideas that came up was the Rock Islands. It's a calm, relaxing environment away from all the stress. It's away from triggers that would be detrimental to recovery. It's, in addition to the security that's going to be there, it's going to be difficult for clients to escape due to it being separated from, Koror. And an alternative that was also proposed was we're going to put it as separate but still part of the compound for the new hospital. We were also asked to discuss the challenges in providing our services. So first, there's a lack of facilities. We need a 3.7 detoxification unit. We need a residential treatment facility. We need our own dedicated community guidance center. There's insufficient capacity for substance use treatment. We need to upgrade our current medicine to meet the emerging drug issues. We need to upgrade the lab and the reagents used there. There's also an insufficient policy. We need to reassess and upgrade narcotics rules and regulations. We need to reconsider insurance coverage for substance use disorders. We need to reconsider medical referral coverage also for that. But with these challenges comes opportunities for collaboration among our different services. There's SOR trainings where we build capacity for our system of care. There's improvement and increasing capacity for our treatment services. We can enhance protection for overdoses. There's a system-wide education enhancement to integrate curriculum into the schools, mandatory curriculum for all grades, so that they're aware of things like opioids, things like stimulants, meth, so that they know what it is before they're affected by it. In addition, we want to make available our opioid resource network to help with training other services and providing technical assistance to deal with opioids. And what brings us here is we need to ask for assistance in it. We need money for facilities, we need salaries for personnel, medications for opioid use disorder, the upgrading the laboratory with the blood testing equipment, reagents, and we also need to change legislation to support a system of care. As some of you know, this month is National Recovery Month. The theme is the art of recovery, and because of this, we also provided a gift, shirts, and also distributing naloxone to the senators here. For questions, and if the public wants to ask us, here's our contact information. Our office is located near the Bilao National Hospital, behind the CDU next to Biomed, formerly the Old Morgue. Our phone number is 488-4711, and if you can't do phone, you can email me at david.moses@palauhealth.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moses. Come on, allied staff. Thank you for sharing information in Malgoramla and light committee, ma Senate, igelguk role kami laurel girela akuk area public health, particularly the igelguk to rehabilitation, ma dealing with those who are suffering with addiction, not just drugs, may pebi substance. Masaula ako kumrak na sa malbato ka para laamil question senators mga da tiklutal mga sular bekla ada igel ko overview gamira program ng mangi med to spare tegi the next hour advice ebles edelos pairing ko open discussion the bestilar teller senators go cloger question or tir maluben ko ngania angil recommendation til si ilodar sa karang segi del teletele la discussion makmo open raulal mang senator mang saw kam bolya
Sula chere Madam Saul Beklaade, congratulations director. Ang visual model igel mle statement tra Mr. Sangabaw tokunit igal tora drugs. So kadi ko milsada to la training al time ngari nga training ko train loban tirar wataang ko mo adi maskida ko adi siya singa tetele la training el omorura el al time siya ako to question o ngero nga no mention ra kasi ngari nga ngal sa selala mangire del ko mo measure sel existing la el wabo dra lim mo waisel lulukor nga for leader was mo zero tolerance al timing in the absence ralla sel test el positive ar adra meth malubo marijuana en rasel ko la process el doru ring al time in the absence ralla either two question
tu sila question aktimos mo sil to training sel kora testing ara maya mamos mo disegi el al time se pone training in tekadil soldado sa limit provide igel ukti in-house training. Recently mla na training ng FBI Mervelaw CID ma FBI dilak training ra fingerprint. Musin training sel may mangkal stereo office at Vice President, adile kani igel ukar basic training kung wa dol gi stial tora seng tikelo kara 5 years police to kara di ol kara uswir marni sing ayal basic atira dak dobes pastero ngia apul actively upang kamam train ay kay dulu di ministry ng aklil di selembit kay outside del di aim SPI yes nganat training mo kandak to pang tirada anar sulang
Kung follow up interesting lang mention our soldado tira igil soldado sel may en wangara process to mo mas kami training. Ngani ako ra kaltmok agreement 3 years old daw kami. Ngani ako ngara involvement tanggal NSC officer kura swado nom ng alisel wasing ngara sigura platak kolom so del training.
Sula senator yung tinggal so daw sila may tatrura NSC mong tigidami mong training agi po moruring. Obviously kidra NSC siya provide el tigidar soldo.
Kamso lang Senator mga saw, ako di mo mo makataklisal ko kurelek. Ngakapmal di coordinate, monitor report. Sige dal tora la or ngara process ra mura police sel la positive. Se mla mo o ngara imbiandra orang karangage ngari tel ka address ay gidalal. Sula.
May respond mo siya la Senator, mga sabang, kung sa Attorney General will expand on it. Sila ang aladori 3 PNC Section 1203. Kinala drug testing. Tiamara roku il employees ra government. Ending sa higit silwa se also mga test positive mas kateal maka moray gagi dali ikora rehab. Masel amendment that we're asking for si Ildi Mertiang edrawan lo siya kalsum ke employee that we are public safety in the first time positive in si el terminate. Hindi nga sige deal 33 PNC section 1203 1204 masada government employees.
Ela experience ra nga ngaring random testing. But the set ringi bulis longara ringi mo malara mal ubto ko lertil wase me you're subject to drug testing arrangement made with the Ministry of Health and Human Services adala laba me ya test conducted to the result ra test. Esegi de tinam ustat luase oy ngaul Ernestine Regil test positive girem mora program ra Mr. Moses set mom ta meet mo go through screening gidel nga rin segi del sel nga la iseng 180 days, that's 6 months. That's way too long. Gidel stop ka positive na mo di ako bulis. Yeah, also kung most successful after 180 days, mutul mereor. Makukulboy nga mutul imo na drug testing, mobile positive, it's the same thing. Yeah. Malun mo kawasan diya ka, law enforcement officer ang ngod standard legor ka. Kawa ultaw tala, kamadangil lasing illegal drugs, nga naman ka mausperingi. Nga naman makmaskate elem. So kung mga ringi darong mo, may laka mausperingi, malubem le mister ka, go through rehab, and finish ringi, upamasiga ngod lurerem, and you don't belong, hindi ka ginem al-bulis. Yeah.
Mr. Asterio, di ko follow up gilel say. Sel ko kom subem among membrala sel tel existing statute malubeng legal framework. Is there a room to incorporate such a policy malubeng rule alsel rules and regulation of la police malubeng some kind of SOP ranklel alsebe the rule mo abol take effect el diway la arugong malgire del merura la amen de seguir del site niya
Sulang Senator ate alle unfortunately tial lala al 33 PNC tiya gire del amen der say lebla belalla mutemelalla in yagi the statute tiya del 33 PNC ya kamal na regulation el mea policy manda sabi ela dra regulation malubong policy ang diyan sabi elom to tial lam adi imol dal dogungi gire mo amen da 33 PNC edi abay baby ra recommendation sung maada testel well tiral convicts albol galbus. Yang laway el alla re lang ako siya sumusurva wonder dra kalapsingem yang sabi emil lumura parol. Ding la sabi edruli mong modable eligible ra parol. If not, el serve at least in 1/2. Sila lara anti-human trafficking Vice President Tologari mong modal sa ilang parol trial offender sa human trafficking. Mga sila ta as a recommendation direct dicta li koset tala lara do 3 PNC mo trigger ul adal apply mera agabalment angar tala la al master il test. Ding direct atal doru ngi mong direct sa edel koseng tagay ding unfortunately nga la mingi nasmigaw do gut makliala kadal agi redal amen ralla sa direct tal gume sa yung mamsisi era sa edro gungi tumuwar other positive kadabay test tira well sis madabol issue selbe mention ngi a chief sangbaw yes ngani training doru di sa algo kungele mle mutul director le levit ang while blazer officer gida kwaseta short staff menjaga sabi edel milmon megal training masayid el timing nganya training el dirul ang 170 gila simple training not related to drugs and gila la codes of conduct tamaro hindi el abla me bes el director en el mutul mamu la training el gila la aguk standard ra police interprofessional tir musulate al
Maybe on more say, right now, yalla akmon wasel, so kung makawa convicted ra trafficking, hindi akam eligible and mora work release. Material mo so is pang possession ng sabihin adam lusol me mora work release, hindi so kung mangmle trafficking, maldi ka TLM. Masaygi dalol ko rin yung kagit la stereo say, podrali matadirik kalsum ka convicted ra trafficking, hindi ka TLM mora parole. Nang wagi lol ko chief sangbaw, set mora parole board, let's say giril, talim kita or makuspe magkikrelo or let's say that sentence 9 years, okay? Gina man serve 9 years. Ending dimle 1/3, hindi ka di serve 3 years ito ba lang? Makangarabalo like 6 years. Claw number de sang repeat offenders say gidelo dili to sisul adal mesois bumang radraks okre ko kumutal to matukok mutal mamrul otrulir tiang mal de sang mang ay mo mesegel ngakling gaging ilosisul ngak mang the usual suspects mang say gida dire kalmal lungil bo do mesringil alwa say magarabo der lima sum ka convicted of trafficking and dia kam eligible for parole.
Halak either say el asel la possession awasi subsequent conviction also kumara possession ang mo dia kam eligible for parole. Mga kakukul the swe kasi dia ka adal eligible for parole sel tamali at ko radrak sa iminay tiya mal close to ko obis nga sel me ko recommend recommend adal mura parole we just say no. I spend that tema lol tutak ra kami matemi bulis and rulay galgay sel me kumura parole ngari ti alam mura parole mer ko ito parole ka katilman la tora drugs kama umome sa record obis AG I give the request was el deny egal parole request unless agim ngari giblam kangay ending mostly adal amla mo 20 years el clean na record ringi maral mega chance rak lang ringi sel domes hindi way galol ko vice president over record officer AG tirga igidal Dios isiul tat mura kalabus etwo el mutul tomalia toradrak matatmu to I think nga baby na mo 3 or 4 times Dios isiul to koy mang maral gidal lo o siga ang esol mortirgal adadal other belaw mang modi kalola igal mehital ka madeng nga isel provision ralla al masadul wasi national government tagidel lolong certi sel tura akalbus mal top del continue malay kagidel rehab ang kagida Mr. Moses al mal nga program available so hopefully sa didakal mo klol ngesol mortirgal nga ligedal addicted
Kamlutel, malmalme. Mali follow up Vice President tamang in the absence ralla tiragi del bod batigar tirtegi del initiative or communal randomly contest mesel la bol positiva ad in kaso del mom ng legal process lo ase mang ngral disciplinary action tigringi tirata mo subject to the motion or ang igigida ko raswa del mom ng lo ase ngaringa omongot mokkel gire la igigid or
malgoradiak unless ang tiensala le segi dalla am street tegi del 6 months algora ngara rehab at all the gartil make sure ta comply with the requirements ra amo testing ama mang unfortunately ngari awan el lo diakal lo tegi del process mang dir orior hindi kala ngari ala segidal ngara toroy 3PNC hindi kal masisi ala tia pamesrin temela fourth al OEK fourth al OEK ngoy ngararak seldo mesa source tegidil ala radori 3P terwatam na fourth al OEK en ngar segidi mang giredal amo o mesringi ya HMD yung nga niya, this maybe 20 years ago, abuli sa terminator nga. Because ang test positive. Because ang tiyagi diyala, ang nilutol reinstated. Hindi akal sabi, edal terminator, tirsil positive.
Kala ko, hukla Vice President na Senate.
Okay, melatilala amor aroguil adra government lura. Melatia request kami ako maldirulil mo morar bulis lentiria ol tau tay galla mal sum mo kodam tigr tilwal malay galla segi da umda se sem ne isura sira le metel dirgal te presenta del tigem ne positif om dirgal misadri mo singram de akbal meregal oro to asen tegi della angaringi hindi dirgal mesel nget tiang apo to chancery dirgal mo affect tel kaduril marugil government talubeng kuki morar bulis
Law enforcement officers, hindi ka din police trial, yung nga po customs, border protection, o postal enforcement.
El aselare el ang mal blaktak was a designated employee and blaktak of Bureau of Public Safety Police Officer, Customs Officer, Immigration Officer, Airport Security Officer, Quarantine Officer, or employee or elected or appointed officer of the national government who performs the duties the negligent performance of which would constitute a threat to public safety, public health or safety, as determined by the National Civil Service Board. Of course, the National Civil Service Board. Maigal uda malamo mo namo outdated the chance mo al time current time el 20 years ago sulang
ya kagi ko gelo bang kami mo dal amo ngin direkal mo kay nga seulang direkal mo kukbol kweta mandar trigay gidel kuk nga diakal ngara abla bolis tu kuk modal ang masagi dal adrekal ged mo ngilo mesringil sumudum arulili at mo mereka terokul mo adal los igal gara gilel mo mereka lo government segi dal agi ira mo mesringi ngage chera ko ngariya karikol mo rabe birra iga malsum ko ra adgi ang harte idil issue
Hindi ako sing open discussion mo ra igar rule area sa man kamalman ba karik
wa kari kamera tira idil adra draksa tigalom de mara rose pe adraksa aku kela setirga kami kamdir ko uspe abulisan ma airport kamdir ko uspe igal bilis salu beng aru bilis ngara ngira bulis salu beng ngara ngira adra customs
Oy. Ngana bilis ra igainal ngara asan ngara PS. Idira kana bilis ra customs ay atma kalorior. Di al time en customer fully lorior los laba bilis. Di seluk kainain el kay bilis ra kainain ngara PS. Ay ok ngot ang ngara arngay nda kuntik pasit tatoro lo bandiak. Di seluk ngura babel nga ngara sel kainain. Di al time customs bilis sa customs ngara laigil ora ra ka porter nga wala pa bilis. Lo bantitigil kainan abla bilis abla pulis.
aku gerse minister leng Egagid el pilis, marwa igal X-ray machine. Egagid those pelom de maigal kalora. Ul maguger segid al sum igal bilis ada kalora, enged lo sigaro le la machine. Obangel segid siak tira kalogelo se tirgegid el adal mogol buslem tradrax. Engarnya al bebida tsurbat 25 years pea fine. Agel fine ngarnya ako ablal galek tablur bela lu bendirga.
Ngira del momes a regordra a gort. Le se al top del order a gort adal pe finer tinen mora tamopera judiciary. Ngira del momes a gegi del recorder se.
Ako organ segi de vice president le ko mes agel al sugum tamral mo giril hara gegi del fine. Gegi da ungil dora el mora gegi del lo ngeso lo spe abla bulis. Direkal tokor atyal mora labra kwam. Kwa di ko rise ngai da doctor Cuartelo bangked mang ay gal labra bela undia kat spe del mo spe el mo tsaka gegi da drak so se gegi mal bendia. Aku ker ragaw mo. Al sugum sebel gu malu be egel equipment dire bal sebel gu ko sigaro le ngal mer belaw mal ngania ad sebel dorur ngir belaw
Akto kortang ma coming malungili tasil semar gulad akto kortang o ran sergi der ul adadu om da setel torakal delbu betel do sadania mal di waya torakal delbu kordio I blame mer adal wasi nge utrokul masay gemdul mo. When in essence in politics ringi da ul, environment ringi, ma jeans ringi, ma aliwel, ma stress ringi, ma ul magkadalabu. Tal tola drak sa I say. Bela kulang sira ulal aladu yung katawa say kurawaya alaka services so therefore hindi trigal nga niya ududira sendra ringi ma outside. Ministry Health na kumodong okla say, well, we have the services, so which is true. Ako umrang, lang Ministry Health makmani. We do have inadequate services. We have to admit that. I understand what we can do beautiful presentation, no offense. Hindi at where the rubber meets the ground, we need to be at that level, Everlyn. So if you need $2.3 million sa latas ng hospital, why? What happened to community outreach? Imalwad al-adam nila klinik ra Eli. Wasin daw okrabli le dalungin lo mesendi modelo se de toltra drugs ra ngiwal am dalabli. Ngiwal. So I understand the frustration or ma collaboration. The Baisak mal lolingit lo se we need to really go at where the issue is. Al suko magagi del mesil, lolo ko ya Vice President sa Senate, at ang almerbela ng helper niya. Then why not? President sa Senate. Kita lo to da 480, lang watak sa gidal mataragade. Medo lungo lo politics lo bayang. If you really are serious, floor leader, chairman of JGA, let's put our money where our mouth is. It is a crisis. It is a crisis. It's no longer just enough, Everlyn, just to say, ngalitil lengwa, ngalitiyagid. $2.3 million sa mga orablay. What's the return? So I'm only saying this because I really want to do something. But what's the first step, Director Abulis? What's the first step? This is a start of a very bad life. It is okay for them to take drugs and continue to work. Don't they, aren't they held to the same ethical standard? So there's a mismatch. Somehow there's a mismatch that I'll figure out. The President of the Senate. Somehow, as leaders, put everything And let's really put our mouth where we think fentanyl is going to get here. And when it gets here, the very picture of Momesari is here. It's going to get here. Makmal, Lonita, es el director de police. Lo hace if llegue del claro, hace del me, vice. Al gire del magadura lab, so to make it better, then let's do it. But is that the first step? Or kailangan first step Everlyn? Maybe there's a first step. Lenga kachibra division. Hindi ka kung siya ministerahel del mertiang, ekmul wasingin arkiweta service. Nga ministerahel nga wala hel rablur belaw. Anes ang ngaringi. So if a ministerahel da aldul I say, then how important is this? As a ministerahel da almel modorel au sisil 12-year police, kira toktam our nurses, then how important are we saying the same thing or not? Paisan sila mayal misil may if that's what we want. Di pangit te presa la senete lo say wagil ulogera gel director customs. Actually lo say do we trust our other ablay? Do umrang our other ablay? Let's clean house first. Ada umrang our other ablay. Ndak to makita lath. Drug addiction is drug addiction. Kita na proving, natal the proving na ministra held Everlyn. Chivra behavior held. Why aren't you being very loud about it? Dahil sa ito alam daw sa higit magtasarul ang ministra held tiraklala. That's actually ko mga frustrated and instead ng may advice sa sumunod.
Hindi ako kadi uligan sa higit kali di kilometer tal gari ka ulma kulger selling. At tiang amal magtekat el problem ra korta amina pelaw. Sel nga dude madrak se ka sendel morakwam lo bangkel adro label mo. Imom me kaduk mangilay gel result. Mung selol gor nga itil wa sel be bilen di mede ala igal kaisen mo dia kala ul mo doger se gida se ngaray gel ngal sang selat tel ministry lo taw tay gay gidle. Dire lo aka bod aka civil mo de tay gidlo tradrak Nga sebedel ko ringi tegidel tetela tia akura ti ng klek makti duli lo aset na morngi arangal ga school ol traw segid sel de bgi kringi le gel gukto bladreng sel tigel adrak sasis sel le met mamen mo dura mega friends lo bantir ngar bablas emergo sel le teng le teng el morti serio tirgel dirgal salmo ngara etrigi gida bolos per tir lo traw Makti duli tia lo aseng nagire mal prepare gid gire tia. Le tia ngamral mo serious. Ala kada mral smisi iya brodiar police sto berngira tia si sabal malakabel tu. Malu be dire kala bolo ngelo sai ka tengariar mrur bela malu bendia. Le kumda sai gid da bol se berngira cloud ngia police na mo spedel mral tor bengitia. Modosi ga iger rogul ul ang mo spela abla police ma obisra agil lo ngaringay tir malsum extra dos perngira airport el sige extra mara airport lo mo extra rogo kral meso isa ako di duli sige dileng tianga ul makata adur lang tianga close isura bro may gid para akledra sa do sa tangal kal mara lo traigang ay gel sum mara to tiang mara na mo tugudul bulu Makodit mo gagid chairman na dire kal sa tele labay sinasal mo kami tayo absolute.
Komal Masale, Vice President Senator gagid el concerns all of them raised. Sir Alme Director tarkong amin nga do gila coordinated border management. Al ngia rural tirmar adara customs marbuli sa mar postal inspector di mla ko report gel x-ray kung taka information gel x-ray gulap I don't have that information makayaman ding sabi kan mga tudol gel tial to ko era crime lab nga ra kwamel do spe ngi leng may gel ko attorney general sel da pora court ngire del prove beyond the reasonable doubt tol was tiak mal maral ice Yagel test kita lola barbuli selang ako di hindi kal accept ako tinding ko di otil was itiang al atyagi al crystal methamphetamine. Madospe audo drum kad ora laban di sel hotel abo dospe erniar av le tirga gemist tirgal el ngara crime lab kwama a chemist el me sel debora corte to ai sel wase ngaral chemical sa ul metadrora conclusion ul wase tiaya ai dele ais mabuli sa do mak gulmo melgor sel kamental mlara director tarong mal global gol ti al chain of custody lo igil lo goya ang kagidel chief sang baw al mude airport tengirin nguti al ais e ungol mol os asira crime evidence room rigid engel buli sa marolal makwam mangkukmol sa ne otobdi ngaras ko gilmong e kukul mura crime lab accept ringi e kuk luusi lesel pura court attorney general engil establish ra chain of custody lo say tiay ngilo sisiul ay silgim ngilo airport en morgere mo tested en may mangral expensive lengel gemis tel ngara kwam selbol temel agar gari lengir el may ngirel me mo testify lo asenga kengel gemis tel mlara crime lab ra kwame emle receiver tagi di el package lo ba nga ta al bulis el may yak mo test ni ro ingara nga e gagi the result tra testing based ter segi di el test tel conduct ni tiang amral ais meng seguida ulo meng meringa la dokora ko tingina dolom ko ora crime lab number 2 ngel moniar ge mistel train del el most of el mero legal urior maka seguida sel kora challenger git e kol masa attorney general ang lakoksal mok mga gira la seguida el crime lab
Well, coming every day nakti yung two was familiar. 2 years ago, we had a close-up order rigid. Hindi di imol level test virus ng spera PCR testing is the most sophisticated el masil available. Hindi kita mle declare emergency makadamlang ulme test al sa lablur belaw. Malsuman sa dan usay el masil me mergong ang area other routine. And if it's this emergency, why are we saying, karang patakora like katamrula excuse was say it cannot be. So, ang ati ko ako kaya say, are we in the same page or not? If we're not in the same page, we need to get to some same page. Let's kung tamalara X-ray custom may kita dato tingi. E masada tel imol toy from dictating ra post office ra Vancouver. Mene kita the mga other mga all the way metal mora rehab it and they're not treated for life as Mr. Moses just said. Magdaming wasing recurrence ya luud ra fourth OEK. Then ang what I'm asking chair I say if this is something gidan mo dong maral decide a national policy say what we're going to do in the next few days or weeks. Madingan wasing temela politics ra sa Ulurbelaw, but this is nothing. We need to move on. I hope outcome raw say kuming attorney general.
I get lolo Vice President mal marang I mean mal complicated tial system ra mura kargaril tiagi del dia hala bergit but at the same time adang ulmeng sa beedlo routering yeah makada continue lo spera adra kwam for free mla mo patokal ra ada kadrul lagi karel laber gider belaw yeah har adal guk mo employer yeah adia karangal gedel chemistry al time patokangal sang sed
Kala ko Chief Evelyn ma-responder sila.
Mansulang chair ma Senator Cuarte. Why say invitation na amlarave, and that's the reason why I sit here with you today. It's because it is a crisis. Lamo gira del shift our attention. El moment Mr. Silva say, how can we set up a national coordinating mechanism? It's a national coordinating mechanism would address all of the agency needs, challenges that they're facing right now. Sige daldalia apos na Dr. Cuarte, we need to declare an emergency. And with that, agi direkramu, il direkramu ng seora, pekal agency regel ko kuro babal sa amam, hindi akmal so kalmos mo di sele testing ra employees ra ministry ra held. Kama madakal sa amam tokta, di kama mal test ra kama magyol ngiter sige del chance ra la al mamataklil wase. Moringi ay layak kalko ka entity el mo test ra Ministry of Health employees. Dakal sa mamam, di ka mamam test ra kamam. We're willing to support a capacity building ra private clinics, ma pekal testing capable areas. At the end of the day, and I don't encourage, alwa si til ka mamam test ra kamam. Pol nga nga independent body, al test malakal pol kamama di kamama determine. Ungilul por nga ngil platakrala alwase mga aleltang angel mamrura testing. Right now a public health mamrura test. Every time you mamrura testing 2 times. Ang isel first el check alwase tangara positive. Etigal positive an mutul ko another round to reconfirm. And one testing can cost anywhere from 30,000 to 40,000. Masalon tigal kinala reagent is because we need to replenish the reagent. So again, pwede mo tungo Marcelo ase, takat makliyala, mapalplata kalwase, pada mo test sa role employees sa government, tala ara la testing ma reagent, malsi edel maara rogoy, di sir ko ka testing ra Ministry of Health employees, boli layak la. Lendakal sabi, akal test ra employees ra Ministry of Health, unless ang maldakal do ulel, mos mikro lelala alwase, makarapat oro ringi.
Amlutan duri sel ko tra arala reagent.
Reagent, every testing that we do, a group of referred clients, it's anywhere from 30 to 40,000. No, that's just a summary of what we have. And so right now per test, in 30 per test. But it's not just that test. There's other things that go along with it, plus the overhead and all of the things that we need to take into consideration, such as freight, arala packaging, so give numbers kami are actually very conservative numbers. Like yung lamarakwa, may gimesasel the tax lab, may testing site rakwam. It's actually very conservative, and we're willing to work with you to improve on what we can work with. Thank you.
Mumsulang ako na sa mal korab lakatak kadrogul ngartial recognize artial issue na mo crisis. Kumda sa sel doling iteringak na sa bol sa beedel kidilom ti ay galobis. Bol sa beedel mal mara atensyon artikel marredergider ministers president. Bol sa beelo mo la real time discussion il girel tial. Bol sa beedel start to prioritize our resources il girel tial. The same way we do mara tial negotiation ra kampact le prioritize aigel domdas yung priority ra blur belal mo sa beedel nga fund amrigel mo support aigel program. Same way we did mo loldub artial to minimum wage ma tax reform. If we put all our efforts together komdas in sa beedel gut maklitya. Hindi ko marak na sing girel leadership at the top I'll recognize a problem gamit our resources el mo girel akom na sa sige din sa pedal achieve igal goals sige agida besa director nga tiangal kumrak na sing na tega no traigal de discuss mang kumrak na sing maulo labangela vice president ma AG ma of course obisa presidente kada mo sa edel maral attention na national leaders able sa edel maral mesa way forward el girel ma solution el girel tal to ay gelo luko kwarte amal dabdabo ko lim beto tiya di kal katinga dal masada ringi. It's always been an issue right kan na maregal telal years and years and then kita rogul mariak na setora drak sa di kal sepe it's a never ending problem. Nding giredel as much as possible like invest our resources ma effort regidel al minimize ringi mendi kal mo minimal impact ringi mara society ma aklangar other belong. Sige da kung nasing ultimate goal so dal reach ring ending alakado dakta klisi ala aurere ma effort tergideng jakal sa edel al mom sisi tial makamadmang til mutul mga sulira kaloreng ramiwe tingani a question members talam sakala ko wala ko kolaborasyon ngino
sila chairman el debele director elot kamsula Mauntial position of Director of Public Safety, e first tergang me sabem el metial. Oversight Hearing mun sabem maraming saigal. Naran der other belau la metial tebra ulbira lola. Tia gire lo siga solucionen, gire la gal problem el dos out. Tia de al besel troy. Mal de al besel troy tial troy ratrax. Din soagal mot el gibel duela gel lorior el ngariungela Bureau of Public Safety li teya imol agency ra government belau lo senior other bela amount ya gidel lorior selbol gloa togora drugs ya togoya mera Bureau of Public Safety mga kasakal logere chief ngere blugul na singania gora established el intelligence gathering method el mosberingi el identify a network ra drugs belau e identify tergel key players al sugum mangani ngragel gora challenges malu ben gora limitation er gamiu mendial bon sisi egal lurior
Sel coordination of other labor ma igal wa customs ma igal bek network ra association of duty yes ngania ngania intel iga mo foundation ra rior se ngara direction ra mam o copy sa dak sa kanya atang sel ngara to intel ma igal bek ma copy other customs ngaringi bagi information I see.
Chief, Akmelgor Cell Network are other involved drugs. Ningere ngariya intelligence, ningere ngariya ureor, identify tirigidel kan extension ngarira al cell avlu, ilom lu ulet drugs ngarni. Ningere ngariya method en plan, ngariya method el mospe ngil. السبيل identifier تيجي network رادراكس على السيلبيلا identifier تيجي key players aku kira ngari ngunilo reor ngari challenges of face ngari limitation sebiu lo eyes sebiu ngoso gumiu improving mang sisi
ngari adi challenges sa tayo الباقي المرة human resources يجي من غصون سامن power سيجي ذاك بين مصون سني يدير الأوين ما بطورة وضو من كم مقمور على السل
Tiso kalau isul wasang ngariya agora a strategy ngariya plan 5-year plan from 2022 to 2027 ngilul maskak plan ra NEU makulbang but I think I mentioned it wasang taka dim lakal sokal disclosure ngil meron kami unding ngari away lagi the information ng alsil chegi diel strategic planner tira in EU 2022 mo 2027 I can give it to you do komsa na non-disclosure agreement ay aldo matadira kalbiki kalol to batay king mo el kukmar adra balul el mo mystery ra kora information ng hospital al subir el kora eBay da ready arbolis.
Da malui lebay sa kumdas ng ako klase sa gidel mle on team mle el WAMS malaka da disclose ay gidel wal kora information that can lead el mora adam mo eBay da ongoing effort target hindi gumrak na sing ngani strategy ma real maral mang kadome sa result ay gidel recent days ay gidel result ra adam lang upte ma ay gel gukla langar arwa post office mga nakle ay result ay gidel kora intelligence work then nakalso adal mal kora disclosure at ya kora public forum nakalungila ng artia do ay sa gigid strategy gideling the for your understanding Senator Talams.
Sabi the other say, kadong tial problem radrak samla moklol to koy. Sel presentation el pils kami lora misngi almaw. Olto sengarnya kakarus role la aigal possible wasengarnya manghitel lorular adrablu. Adrablu mal si ilom kodong la dengwa. If it's reached that level, kadabay mal appeal mo adrablu la si tong sar bulis. Agi usper kamiu. Mkol report tayo galing. O bang aram report tayo birakra mesel bol tokora daraksing tiaka ngarang. Malgiri adrabalulom kadong. Tiyom kadong rabla bulis you remain anonymous. Tokar adal gol nga har obis they remain anonymous. But I take their complaints and concerns into consideration. Der adang mal madaktra sel to bang kleng hakmol mi isaksik tertiang. But ang mlamor sa the level na mo girir adrabalulol nga seorar adra MOJ girer tial tokor adrak. Siya kung na sa namlet tingel angkal PSL director el altutal si tia tokol gidel baluro ginan na mo girer murter ni. Hindi akadi bi ititrir adra lo bulis malo ngara arat yang mar adra customs. Kami sa tokoy tokar adal mesa magnite marko diakal report. Tokar parents lo siya ngarangal ngam ospe adrak si makarang. Report til marabla bulis ang tang magnit tal mura nga lagela aven di at least katangar siya guktral kanek tal mura siya mang tamalar taang. Even mar adalopte madakal solil identify la sing tamalay gal regir. So somehow in gira del breaker siya gidel barrier oriol gidel tiang al imol balu. Dia di law enforcement officers. Esel ko di so kal comment sel tingel la Everlyn and gira drug testing. Allah ang aringi, I think it's just a matter of, suguman somil ministry, you can actually do it. Kom kukti mura adumila sa komura clinic ra Dr. Cuarte, komura Dr. Yano, but it has to be done. Yeah. Lengkukti kalfera dilmera adrablia bulis ngagita miskumayamel 8 test la conducted in what? In 2 years? Yeah, yalla awase at least 1 calendar year at the designated employees agiril mo subject mo drug testing. So, di kita comment nga gikom sulat ti al.
Sulat chair. Direct sa lo kere. Attorney General gamil bulisel. Mara forfeiture agil asset tirgel adal. Lopte mara drugs ngani klalo lo ngai malubin crowdo de gom sabiul may ngara effectiveness agig de loriol wise.
Melay ay gamra lunar obisel AD sel ngari nga gay radrak sel ngari nga amlal involved lang ngari nga kyas guk additional lul tutak gira malfara court luase ay galudo del forfeit del mora republic ma ngari ngi sel la gira forfeited self forfeited property fund although the mora ngari nga account I think ang 50% tamor cell agency lo ngara investigation mayor at 25% tamor cell prosecuting agency ang aramo ang dimle obis ra attorney general and alam la mo ring obis special prosecutor depende lo aseng ngaral gayseng mo ring at 25% ang ara administering ilutod for law enforcement purposes only. So ang aramong akmla ospe ringi few times lol nga sirar bulis selbo ringi selbola albolo mo sa range ngari olngila ut I remember one instance ng laring land owner lumonta la sitial at may kang komkararingi so the pair adalo ut man sa ilmo mura practice ra arrange it's for law enforcement purposes only. Also man so min sa ekal mo nga breakdown ra Ministry of Finance lo sitya ludo ng ngaraw spell. Igel mlay of course ang maral nga niya forfeited el mlay mar adra blia bulis na madangeleng telgi bel maring lal ukol mortira kwas kami mal metrak legal mlarakabalment mak hindi nga rang klel obis attorney general kami ospe al sum in 3 months or however many months kung malmegi inspect kung di akom trak le dilungil maral eng blimiu. So that's been the practice. Tir oreol maring mala mose am legal na bol forfeit. So they get cars lang direct kalmonsong sa amlirir. Selbol mereka case sebol ngari appeal mga ilang ngari awan appeal awan almline di west ramlal gimila legal recent seizure sa tirigel adrasinal sel murder case direct kalmla involve drugs ringi semla me ako spe although still forfeited property fund makara repair ermul mangbo in good running condition yakmal Mr. Adrabla Bulis mga additional lirir
Sula AGA. Di solo ay sa direktor no tiatogra drugs. Rather ablu autor tiram doctor report. Tilay atara challenge. Rather ablu relabla bolonek no direktor. Ingirem el bitte say. Kamsula.
May I respond more, Senator Talamas? Tiang maral to kaloloy. Adam doctor report mo. Please report ang mura astereo 775-6654. Ako giutiyang adrablul, sorry report, nandito badaktal ko rabla pulis. Mukol ra astereo, ang kaadrala ang malmadu regel confidentiality. Tiakalo ay sangkliw. Ding use reporter ka, ngul mo mistirigel proper authorities. Maklamutan may lakliya din wani 775-6654. Leng ay gablal doon Chief Genisa ba maklamutal momelik la. Ngiredal mo kidro kuy amot ma kay kay ngasew report. Ay gaya intelligence al dospe. Ay gaya intel langar bulis at tira mo matuol sa ilal laurior lultoy ray gaya information al may. Sulang.
Sula baisa ka since ka arti lagi subject tak para dire ka lomdas at na se kal lungil dalut explore tiagi del doruni el al time el wad encourage the public el report ol ngani akora mechanism el se el coordinator lo bangala gagi del agency el walingi se del public outreach el se el mo kabang ba kamda kita man adrai community dongo adu urtir el start from tretele la distribution na drugs also il momudu lo mesa igel sign el knasetial agora suspicious activity o di reglo sisulta metrigal gukmara public health also ilo ay seknase adal malaya drugs ang wangara ari to dringing wangaral mga ngaraigel sign el dongu yung masab edel telek nasengal ada involved ay sa give information if we bring out to the public ang amo sa iral direct mo help pergidel wal madadal nga community direct el share ay intel mergid o si silta mi direct do message ay gidel to kara reporting am na direct awngil do kara mo o sigaro lela kara awngil incentive al mora public al kunasay al sumuguk help abla bulis el reporting mo successful self reporting ar kal no sa el leader mora successful investigation you get some kind of reward. You know, little things like that ang nasun direct sa el rule 3 mo niya incentive community makita low role in partnership achieve ay gigid mo ungil tilal point mo ko hindi kumdas ungil the bota o may sa gigid el baby ratlan tingil sa el mo a little bit more creative yung sa el maral send ungil positive message encourage a more partnership from the community so you know dakalako ko te alma.
Ano ba, Senator, singinon di ako ngitra ka, chair ko, mabay bomb leader sa gid. At amot makalori ang partner up like kay Murura before. And then we can go, yung nga ako komtera, obis Attorney General mga todo, obis ra, trigagital drug test, tiyan Murula drug testing, marbulis, ruaseng kay kita kay malkorawal kantila, tayo kital, bolsa edal at ito po the partner up.
Say, mem tega leader cell coordinating tega del gora mechanism ng klele, and then let's work together.
Sulat Chairman malungili tasil sa marbeklade. Ako te Vice President takmal palore nga sulim mersel lela statement ragal gilela a strengthening ra aigal different agencies lo ngra alertial altang lamral ko ramle ngalla kal omrang sinding ungil ng tilo ra ang RMS Minister of Justice el Duli el kumasende kal ngalla kal imral gile del motelgib el kargik la tol de dung lang sab el direk al upside simple el toy ito malitial klol urior el urnyar bekla adamo ang nga sulim el gile sa statement ra kam ang ngerong aktirikal malawre nga sule la a director Curtis Elot telele dirikal kuk na returner merbela e cell service rin nila US Armed Forces gira la defending freedom and democracy ang dasong magire de lodor si segi de lobring al saul el morngileng tegi del bulul al dangarngi tegi tial lo social freedom and democracy the experience rin e benefit rin il bekla adam ko rin nga sule el gira segi del services rin gira la US Armed Forces. Aktirikal mo ora nga sule la katokora di mga adu ay kang ya through the mura negative katokora di osiga solution because we're in a negative world. Hindi direkal gila ko omisagel bright side ra ako lekado direkal di kimilsara news ang aring trial police el mildo material adradrax. Ito offerti raw do e diakalo baar. Se one el fine tokora integrity del sartrial bulis menso dal highlight ring kwasi that's the vision so dal meser ngira ay gigi del magigarel tokol dos ra news mga naklel el miskida hope masay people are doing their job nding gida way sige del bulu gida ol dekal tasal matrigit gida di osiga igel kantila toko di atage di because that's who we are as other bela ngayda stereo gimla adalit magim denget masay agi tmak kama mar adra kwam mar adra igal baby ra tahiri gitu naklogol disela dura sekmya bugira ayun sagi mundia dia kama madagim bugira ayun sekma ma bugira belau trige gida bugira ayun referring mugid la adra bela all hold us to a higher standard ra tokol doru makadablo ngar segi al adu akmal dora ngasulil gira la gigid di sakal mo ogernya sel 25 year service al komen minimum kapsinya la adra so sengire el gere wangarang atletelele akoram dang liral agimike el bui gel bol klo heroin rablur belao melbol medidrur tawa akasuko mangarang klele lotrulel akasuko ma otrulel ma adam our leaders am netob del mo march el rulle alla al mo minimum obom galbus 25 sengire el gera atletelele wangara umsode
engalla mga ringil bol mereka guys kay gida recommendation el mura akarila ultimate ngay make a final decision till 25 years at akabulgula se 25 years el galubus judge al sentence in 25 years sabi el suspend 5 years and 10 years 15 years 20 years ngore till 25 years hindi kami sa adal actually serve at 25 nga baby ra guys rule 25 years malubeng tablong at charges mang mo 50 years edan hindi sa igid 25 years nga igid ko condition mang still 25 years and hindi galubus 10 years let's say also kung mga nga ultimately after sa igid 10 years el top del tamali engal si el mutul mo kalbus raigel remaining years. Isang understand the explanation na nga ke.
Why say ni ako kung do suma sa gim ka el buy gim ng sityang agim lo matak tatora drak selek mo tesel porgi e kam asim 25 years. So ngoram le deterrence. Rendim lagi misal mo ngalia akora di oval in relation al mortal tokol mo lorngira police officer loptem zero tolerance go in comparison mo sige de kung zero tolerance hindi ukto poralla en korang arnya aliwe ya un ko mo o ko mo enforce sa zero tolerance hindi ukto portel to kung korang arnya gigi del korta ko otter ga klim koram mo dia kada ar community na adamit ko mas tangarnya di mana 9 years serve 3 years to so sige da ko omes ni kumasing koradia kal comparable like al to nga ka huk madami sige and how do we work to correct that
Di ba ko talwasel sum ko police officer under ay statute and kama additional 5 years. Sum kamle bulis traffic drugs. Sel trafficking al 25 years. Dira kaliya ko kami sa hospital site sel omlia 25 years. Nga malarat tial full. So you imagine she was 25 years old at that time. Ariyan nga ligel. And she goes in at over than 50 years old. Tiya ka ulong siya ulong karurang algil. May kaya kiral mo matala chatsal direk. Misteri ra chatsa te ala no Mr. Sayidil wasita san suspenda talgi para sentence ringi yung mang ding way galol ko ngari tel 25 years. Malamol ngari sum kamotaw trala ra trafficking in 25 years. A positional at talgibal ngario kalapsingin. Di gagidagil factors al alo me sa court. Wasing you put someone away for 25 years in segidin. Malum ay margil at to nang mula mo okay margil. Mga segid sa discretion ra court tanding malmol ngani tigi 25 years al maximum. Okore seldabong yar adrala argura way gigitil wasay polso be LLD surba half ringi 12 years 13 years arrest nga probation ding sa be edel convict for 25 years.
Hal dik akuk na sa lobby sa public defender akuk time kuk sel tarasay dringia ilatel nga la ko sa minimum of 25 years sa trafficking. Magi all askal possible sa BLL el serve a minimum of 25 years also expended except al adi 10 years lese msakli si chat sa mga either ang suspendo hindi akal nga rin di practice sabay say mga sel suspend half ringi nga di serve half di al sugod mga balswadong ko kadal adi mga sel lara human trafficking gibo mga mesra chat sa kwasendiak al sugod mukhang luli nga la idol tirak rin Malsumang soda adil start at 25 years. Emerli ko si gal chas ada so suspend ngirel survey gal time. Nga mo ay say. Edik talin mo sele guka vice president sel mulsa dring to koralap. Direct tiala ba sumer belaw ngire do mes sele asum to school ang accreditation. Le sel sugum agimilas mel discredit sele labra kwam. Kwase agi mo mes el process ring sem defense lawyer. Comienza a cosetear mga natetele, trigal testa egal, tangani askuli, a process ng ngungil, mong sa edel ngulmay. Di ngulmay ang girel mo ringi sa igi dalawara accreditation ringi, misal dalawara ko, ta iji bulo spiritual, ta igi dalaw bodo ringi cosetear ng amle testa egal, ng tongo tingi sa igi te alal, mo itagal evidence, kada cosetear degal ngulab, kita process maradang nga ringi, degal experts for instance. Sige, din maswakal edang nga Msula.
Di ko naman awon makora amana ko zero tolerance. I agree with you raw legami amrut raw rior. So standard nga sige. Akti dire kalom ta sortel court system rigi ra to appeal dire. So you're guilty but you have the opportunity to appeal your case. Sige ako kisang alguk in terms strategy alguk lamtel ang albulis. I mean, di ako tolerate rin. Di altang ako naray melil ko hingrang klele di malakalotong somebody guk mulatungi. I don't know. Di sel guk ti di zero tolerance dito oto ba ata kora dia ka opportunity rin prove himself. That's what I'm asking il korak masing ngora wala ka telel tinga wala kora di dictatorship mo you're out. Ungil to kaya leng because tingila oath. Di ko seltelel kora tiakal prove ra guilty ringi because we're innocent until we're proven guilty. Kora pogisang mas do you see that el dire kora mo hinder tial luldas.
Kamal masawla til al luldas wemendi tiak nga kako kwasing girel di momre. Because arbulisa giril held to a higher standard. Maliwag lulukoy ang kagi dala Senator Dr. Cuarte. Artok tang. Tiya kalal adirek kalira that more require bus drivers. Really, bus drivers all takarangal kang girel high on crystal methamphetamine and ice in sa elom. It's a public health issue, a public safety issue. Mga amalya ng moment sula sa kalya del testara adedil. Mga kamal liway gel mlamdong. First, sum ko police, you get tested. First time, terminated. I mean, nga rin sila kan test al confirm. Kaya two-step alway gel mlamdong. Mga test al first, tel so makapasitive ka mura second time al mo confirm, you should be terminated. Oo, sige dia. Sel to ra appeal ang sel resign. Le resigning kwa dia kalbon makitra record ra ka mo malmutan mo apply somewhere else and maybe get a job.
Oy, hindi ang agree. Ali kala mo omes nga mas nga kamal da gudu bertilalin ako ti I'm being the devil's advocate regel to. I need to see both sides. And then sa last tamal di ora kami trangal gila like I get to ya. Tigam la huli pingel May. Kadang-kadang lado tertera bol presidente. Hindi mo lalak la huri pingel ang gal driver a St. Luke's rule mungkel. Ako gera kor o gera ngik masya mong ngarang gal presidente kami. Philippines is going backward. Agim na mo start tel madakta. Sir presidente Duterte malim lo lalak la balu. Kami am dungel masya Duterte mo lewang ngarang alo. Mung kadamot mo lagi torak la Cristiano madi diagal atletele laureo tetele ngukti miru ra loru lagi. Mang bay mal solak masa ulung mo lumutun mo presidente ng agi koram no feel safer adra uriping. Sa kuktim na kami trawan el adel. So kuto koram mo kay gidel to kora how extreme are we or ikita koram lupot para gidel tum sulang eh.
If I may respond ko man sa lagi do comment trakaw. Mang mleway sa Duterte gayel dom ko dong mo extrajudicial killings lang dia kal koram mo ko through ra court di gida democracy, gida follow a rule of law, gida respect the human rights. Aldo mo ka ba Duterte? Duterte blel long mondaring ilang wal kora mle violate a lot of human rights lang di miralom ko atrara. But yeah, mang sayit sel do Southern was either in capital punishment tal ubad mo Duterte style dia kal sabel manggira dal mot makarogo malaso mal save rangalgeda save our community. Mukamal masaw rati alam lo sa amal may magi mga tatol.
Well, para vice and then presidenta seneta din ngania para amitani.
O akora dio gerit yang legada masaw da tia idel waset tirga mal di momre. De sultan di sa do menelo asek mal wal di sira ngara tirgel bulis el mos pertir emring laratir. Kid galel digan adra balul mos bil moregal ay galuror magdam gara ngarad borngi. Akwa di dole segi deleng gire lo mesa igal was tiya kadam garangil al sumo mo spera ngara andre tamadrangel al police digal se bil haire akwa di duli segi de na mamring la do sigar ad man mutra igal be clurer digal mring la do sigar ad ma digal to ka ngel selo se kadam gara doras ma adresa se
Adetal korol tilang alangas autodir al police el bolngania do year service al se it'll retire el bolungi la benefits certir insurance life insurance mang sige dia mo raise mang mo attractive letir kaldum to ititiang ang mga to kam lang mo mga barda ya those ertir elang over 50 I have the numbers sak mo mal mas kami ne kalt mo klola bal metigyak pati mang to kam lang marael aldum the all time low all time low isa number bulis di mo 150 plus wasang 153 ang koltal labol way say di sir police malmo rio ang beratir len to kortiram le resign move mora relocate mora Amerikel and they were good cops sergeant level tadira kal ngarba level of police edim le pack up mrail mora Amerikel kasi adal stobertir giradal kabay sulamak sa galo ay sel dira kan giradal nga sa aududir le tirgel EMT Alir EMT kiril train kiril bekro kultob da ambulance nga EMT nga alsil emergency medical technician ngel ako ring sulwa sa nga tara EMT mo resign mo rio na tara rio because it's a higher pay mang kita mo daling tirada trainer tir ya la akmula sa kiril nga EMT nga ambulance ya dalu sa tigal EMT at mo rabatak sela al require was sel taltob da ambulance ngil nga EMT nga ri sige da tara challenge
Silo. Oh, come.
Oya, akora di ulit talaga ko, malko raise out do. For the last 2 years, kadam na tiral do raise ay gal. Audo dir adra minimum wage el mortiger kotel ngarbabel, di gal bailo audo dir. Segi dia. Maktiregal sugum ko rangaringi ya different tra kukul pulis wasing girel mangaraw do dir. En nagirel kuk moilyak la treta la lorurngil wasing kagiraw do pulis ang girel magaram gara. Ako di duli segi dileng elang ngaringnya arbulis mar nurse madira ngaringnya bebira brol dire kal mo se kama magi dire kal magara o ya umda segel ngaringel benefit tale el las tumna se trigaya arbulis triel police officer tangusel 25% el hasados aududir sel time in Manda ko din lasem na ditirgal patrol lalu bentirgal rogol police officers asuma title ba ako na sa igigi de ma na sa tial no aseng mo increase auto dira ako na sa ngungin relia kora ata planner gami lase ngaraigel mo tretelela apu dira police e ko present ngin membal sabedo sa order ni disel liberty ando ko sa increase auto dira police ka dira mo kora mo ase nakad increase ngil wang ara treteler Kuadi tulis segi de nga kaman mangelo sa tial bla bolis at tegi dar long song sa other gi tirgel ulia ko erga tirgal challenge sa tirgal melos agim lo hire other tirgal metri ka ngani record tir magim motra lo la corte clear record tir magma segi de ul mukadregal ko ame saigal sa tedi mamrek dingara next magma segi de ngil do bod ka ngir rogul et tia tirgal swadal القط مكليل بالواد المصري هذا السورين مني sulang.
Kamal masawle kagita director elop tal ngateng emal waisel de solo seguidan mo aggressively recruit lo sigira adal mo si lorion mo police es el tora do da IMF adir ngamlo IMF anyway study has just been done makbo o supporta selva bilngi galmel kire lo tutir police lo ba seguid el report that was done lo mesa wages ra our police mar nurse mar kagi dele teachers malgire del improve aududir le tamral in order to keep them here le lageta di maral mora kagi dele outside
ale tik de elakukul di masadra adralla other obviously age misuga 52 to 60,000 nga special prosecutor misuga 125,000 public auditor 125,000 dio me sa igay da kumna sendira ko sa etal compare marbulis follow tel civil service pay scale yung dira kalmal nga yaw though I think klo lurior el gira de rulil morar other bela rokui biya kutil adralla malug kutil le bulis gira the review sel salary scale mo up to par with tletele la dalang okre el al 2024 yeah
sulang sa telela presenta seneta malgok lamay ka comment ngi el Barabasilius budong simre
Balungil silsil merga Vice President ma Attorney General yak malsol congratulate rabis el director gid como de los siete atara amleklol mondara blur belau finaling baringi magundasa polo dengliar adara blur bela ng lamal mo ngilan mo dulwa che triste other belau ngara druwal mang agumeseng sub emel kauma director makaluriore ministerio aktiregal malumral wasing sub el mamular ka makamular ni direkal malmrenga sulela tamadig raikal mergol telal buil lulung rabla bulismo malmrenga sule met tamadig direkal merenga sulela sanga baul mlatal lang artel druwal dia ka adal luguk malmudu orang idilang rangan di at least we try our best to solve el problem el gida face ma direkal lieutenant umaya kita kau tengira betul time mal support tergara urele kami badungur sel tora lula tel lula bla bulis lo sel sumang aringa mo testet el pasetipen kudem sa 6 month nga ka umra lo sengirel mo regular I give a chance, amora rehabilitation of police, we give second chance. When it comes to this, require a high level of quality raurior and girel momreg raurior. Kung das siya direct ulmang tangariar momreg expect lo siya mo test expect lo siya I can go back. To go back and then continue to it mang girel dingu sel ra ulamaler momreg raurior. Maka direct lumral wasing girel any employee ra government has to be tested. Lendi kal spedlo wasing kuktibli la pulisya kuktara ministry dia. Everybody has to be tested mang mol ultal government lo se when you get involved with drugs sa mo mereka loro matamo matangay. Malsum mo ra government you have to commit yourself mo ra government ra any department ra government will give you effort to service their people. Mang kadmo matangay arpela other vela mo matangay rogulo sal sum ra government tested drugs ko finish. Kadang-kadang wase tang song sar bulis mang kadagora amle wase moriate lela bulis hindi agumrang gurtis wase obong mrelabla bulis mo attractive. Leng kila madang wase ngaral luro ra government tap to kara adal ngaring ileng it's attractive. Aktire kalau mral wase ngirel mor baba salary ra bulis mar nurse mar sensei lengigel trill ministries الكدمدين الواشين عليها ودودر بلورام رجال توب دم للتومرا الواشين جاي كده التريل ministries أجيرة السبورت أجيرة المورينيرا بلور بيلا الواشين دير المالوني لا يجيل كامنترا سيناتور كوارتيل للكوركم يوم دير المرا الواشين بالسبب دلهم تبا يجي كده تنجلا سيناتور كوارتيل كم يوم دنيا الواشين جيم لميترا Postmaster General ma a director hitel hindi akal gire del malayas di nga ko umran wa siya post office ma for their security ay gaya osis balela kar manggiril mo put more effort al sumtum le na 100% 110% protect ra Hindi mo hablay, al sumant mo adribog, len kaniya talgibol blow. So close it, malakal to adribog rablay. Mga kaumaral wasing girela, border security, ma post office, put more effort, leikeya and transra adrax. Ilakadam oitia amars, may complain wasar pulis sa dekalulang alirmang. And it's not fair. Manggirela, border security, ma post Master General put more effort. Kita telo mes ay gal bilis, umbring larungul. Kami am dengar ko mes sa TV, tirge officers. Ngirel ngariya partner, ngil every day. Hindi ka dil once a week or edungul mamukure de me gido dorail. You know, you have to be partner. Tirga partner tirga law enforcement. Al sumta adra anarka. El partner tir every day ma-assign. Kadang-kadang lo set ng song sar pulis mong hindi mal appreciate kami tamadik ka sabaw you're trying your best. Ela ka mama angar alam audo. Kadang-kadang sel mo ngit audo with agi politics mong agi mas kami o tabdi ngo sur hindi akal waise. Kadang-kadang lo sing priority. Ngakat talaga Vice President Lumral was saying, it has to be coming from the top. Nga umral was siya President Tagiril declared the crisis Rablur Belaw. And then put more effort. Mang everybody will go into it. Hindi akal siya edal ngartial masaudar ngay, yatap pa, ilakadan narulia PGS deal top priority. Makada masaudar ngay, di akal daw saudar adraksa. Accommodation, it should be turned around. Kada ruli adraxel mo o top priority. Kada madangel wasi tangari nga ram lama adrax. Ngari igal kamaldim la morngi ang reporter hospital wasi mladal draxaw. Mlo mangiga Muslim draxaw. I think it's unfortunate to hear those kind of statement travelur belaw. Mang after all, egomuspe audo del murulay galurior, I hope beng sepedal mukaswesor after a few months and then put more effort lot of audo del ruli. Aktiregal mal mrenga sule me Moses malungi la presentation, but you know what? You need money. Nga ka dire kalumra na building ra rehabilitation, malumra. Dire nga rehab, they need to have a second chance in life. Ese agirel priority gider tel government mo. Akdire ulguma president armen se president please let's do something with these drugs. Di wa NCD. A doctor korte ke kedera lo saudara NCD, kada korade ubeterngi. Esel bolsera ade kada mokl dible el mangle, you know, emudo laudo. Esel temel tigid when it comes to drugs, feel better nguradia ka effort tel blur belaul motmage oche. Let's do this once and for all. Aige di el dage ngakamal mrenga suliw. We need money. I hope betirga gidel senators. Tirga member ra ways and means ro. Nga kadiak member ra ways and means. Ako lang itra vice president lo say, let's give money. Esel when it comes to money, solve a problem. En kada mo ay idaringi ebol ng song saraudo de dire ko ay gel dilu kwarte. For $480, it's good money. Hindi mura diakal problem we are facing today. Of course, we face lang ngaralagal ma dengue, maral ma asuwera mring ma ulak ma alto daw. When it comes to drugs, marera life from gegrel adra blur belawen. I think we have to put more effort. Ida tell Lorenz Cycle tol wasen tanambornger ang class school. I think that's a terrible news to have in the Republic of Palau. Kada malka say ladmo. Akti olgitra. We work with the senators, lira ultobdawdod, yaguk liamrula urior. I hope we don't blame each other, but help each other to accomplish the goal, protect our other vela makmal mrengasuli.
Saule Presidenta Senetra mal lungil kamentrao, el kora mal maklat kergida el areas el malgida del mogo. O tabe Mose del Melisi tial urior. Medi exert yagi del li small piece of information werak sat elela Basilius and then budong simre. Information el ngila committee HE. Walo Isaac na sing klol lo si sabal ladrak sa ngaram rigel may. Drura post office ma direkal drura hook customs ar adal gukti ngar omral me also sa pagal drak. Kora ungil information bodobang direkal dokora assess ako ureredel going forward. Ak madangi trigagi dar adra na public health ng artiang direkal ito ka kwantram rigel utilize. Bolsib edel direkal los pe ay gigil te alle da when the next time dolo sa kwant table sub edel recognize tial al issue radrax al namwal national security risk rablur belaw ya kum das elevating il more segi the level mo sub el qualify ay gir rogul go request gidel gir la kwant al mail mo sub aqrablur belaw te gidel to radrax edrigalo sisil mora ministry of justice ay guk effort tergidel sab edel utilize a grant malubeng collaboration lo bangala agencies federal agencies am rigel wa DEA ma FBI wal sab edel direkal raise el ngar say gidel labor and national security akum daswing am rigel apolo ngek na say a source regal drugs el motmura blue bela wa ngar am rigel ngiril dil take our responsibility direkal mo recognize say gidel neither gidel el gambata igang knowing na sa bela wa dirga limited our resources tir makapacity gidel el handle o igay gidel issue mang aktiso kal disir sa gidel information e po sub edel ko omeser ngi ma aigel guk next request gidel mora amrigel grant writing el bodoru el girela igay gidel reret wal sub edel incorporate igay gidel concern o susilta medangan mora attention a president wa igel bladuk presidenta senate tangal mo attention our ministers, mga president, raigal cabinet meetings, mga igal group meeting lo kami lo manggala president bolsa edelo o darsel mga president igigil lugil recommendation ng namadu bolsa edel el start el shift of resources ma priority gidel gidel sa igil ak mom sa telel Senator Basilius manggukti mo mega final comment ringi kom respond al necessary and then vice igibom skmete al mo kom kuk mega igilwal ko mo final comment ang remarks sa kami kada mo litra Vice President Senate tamang mo hospital hearing ni Kamoy Basilius
Musulang chairing Vice President malungil kamsang ikaw komrong sak Tagit Yaklokamik microphone ka Vice Vice President malungil itasil sa kaw AG Director abla Police nakadirek le tirakam tial kaplat mural sel tial Senate ang pretty sure ang aring discussion sil al previously lam katmok al kiral tial tokoira adraksel do sa adri mang seragi lemer adra post office man adra custom set lo masao del waseng aring agora effort tamlo mention na while executive order milgatmok by president al mirror tagi del coordinating committee man ubang mechanism al dakay ka local agency mga tmokri tulo ay sak mula sa mumlo expire ender el alman man ubang last month mensuatan mamatangit mula sa mga rikera war ay ngaraw result ma o mga tmaklen sa lurioron al moving forward rela
I'll have to get back to you lang katiak member sel coordinator border management atol chair sa minister obi ang ma minister utoy tirigay at chair segidel committee a director of Bureau of Public Safety a member ng hindi nga kan minister at justice at partner segidel coordinator border management group among I can get back to you wasing going ako mo kora Excel lurerel sige del CBM.
Oh, that's what it's called CBM. Hindi ako daw lang akum tas yo sige del alata pa ikirel makatmok inclusive lobang gamiw. Leng also kung makadamaral tagal tal issue we need to really put everybody's effort al mura alsel o leng mulmutra atra prevention mundirekal kiran mo so is bratsel also kung kata akmal amater kami mururaw reriw pais minister ma arapek laado hindi sel kung kata rama katamlama recognize ngit mula sa crisis a crisis maybe can relate to it mula sa it becoming to be a pandemic also kung makadamlamor sa higit and then we need to put effort rarbek laadal mo sa isbralsel so adal mesang malso kung sa amlaen dolingit talwa sa taas ka president malutal algut makli al extender ngi and put everybody in mun sa pedan malum sa tal isyun al more sa higit ya akum taswang also kung mga ringa report it's now na come out soon malubang ringing lamo saber adito lokor niya wase awul makata chairman ng kamamamle ko tial hearing the time has come to look into it seriously al mula sitya kada makarang yakut maklin al mare daling affected ra al sela plur belang ma individuals ra al sela community yes ngirel mga ringi awareness al motto ng mga ikalpekal state ako lingit talwa sa LCPLC at least talbol also kung social security marahil ay kal state talo ay isra health ra social security financing mechanism tir may olis akral ang perisuring ang sabela Ministry of Justice maduming entity marahil el pro el low ay sertial toera adrak sama olingit tangi sora adrabul kiren mung seldo southern til te tutuluaseng olbeira kalulaweng damit to solve nging sakal mor say gidul tikingi ulwase it takes a whole community el momot mokertiang and the only to ruring el anga wa sen kire to mamra la blulo lis akrar up al sumo ko mes ning mula seng it's a crisis mung ti say kiti ontig nga kamre nga suliw dire kal mo obang kalay kal tikinga la presidenta seneta ma abay sa ma floor leader kamam chairman tial ek mula sa takay sew yes almost pe rangeso mamra la blulo lis akle wa Israel adal giral tiang and then it takes an effort to make it rokul mo so is Brazil. Adanya kum sulak.
Chikam vice imis kami lal mam al so may respond al gel sel tokora CBM understand nga niya report al amna lal kat makli se obangela ko la recommendation al amna president I'm sure ang laadi kal makadebal time ma president ako modar sa the recommendation and may se ko na ko mo ta mokte garin din dire nga niya bigil aspect ng mo tat sa to kadra
sel CBM sa gidral matmok sel executive order mer angay ke rogul relevant agencies actually tangaringi abla bulis tangaringi obisra AG ngaringi other hospital matangaringi ma artikel terul co-chair sa Peter Paloy director Taragong mang maral nga rin ya reora marmara and el almand mga rin report to loru rin mo obisra a president hopefully sige the report amo sa el cook help our law enforcement officers el gidel tel issue illegal drugs. Kabay dim kora telgivel moklarang mi wadong sa the report todo lasing mga president tungkuk ngarang moving forward from there. Sulang.
Okay. Paisang maldi medela medel 7 minutes kada hitersel mle expected el conclusion del hearing. Makboms ka te al mangidil member tel panel nga artiang kong ani ako last comment malubeng soal dikmung ulale or kami we bolse beda dolngita vice presidenta senate mabol era senate el split hearing
oy ale qadi last di mere de adi 1 minute maldito qadi iduli sindakalikwa umgal actually ang tamsata testing malap mal turudo padong itringi ang aramong merikwa marijuana morakwa midiri kamela result temay mlan alla plus no marijuana dak sepe di tura field test marakot ting lamopra case aga si anda di ama isolation so sa chart tolerance la process turtri nganya PS el test kit mo pa el time il dapat open tal drugs aktingu mo sit tal drugs yung ay sira kasi tiang clear ingat top ng lab report ngaklo nga gito brabe 8 ba 11 il to lab report ese wari gibo morut terngi ay ngara training ese training kay mo certified e ko dung marakot tem sa terngi as set pa sa kalap technician e nga niya for example 1 to 10 step ka follow ngi lang follow kay gideng ta terminate lul toy musakti duli waseng sum lam matbok ka marijuana sel maklama ice il nga niya esel dongon el time gina training ring ongerung asum sa malmal pulasay mo chair tolerance medal task force medal time mitam sa bakbasi sa maraklil la task force el motbok laudior siya pa yon tik sulang
sira kulgora laba ka understand el wasing selpis el telem le testra covid kadrilia protocol es a sovereign country dilo se self test tiang ngoltrak la il scientific protocol e also as a nation take the result kung ade ka mondado dilo se lu ngoltrak la scientific standards may rowi en area chemist del hiring but if ngoltrak la yang gidel as a nation and certify was a opera corte te ayuda se mungul hotungil evidence. It's just a matter of gidel modong okle Clarify ako Marcel was a cell border, cell border, whatever it is. So kung the overall learning, I agree with you. Giran mo task force, nga President Office Mary Giderobo.
Mang mal masawla senator parte maralway say siya nga imamiw lang olbi lam lo pasra alla alkmul wasit tegi til field test ra marijuana mo accepted al evidence wasing contain na marijuana ang marijuana so same thing with ice you pick or say el test el wasit tegi del field test rangkagi del ice is proof al wasit ya ice mang segire del pasrangira hindi ko yang ari aklisi ilgut maklisi mang komal masara te alam lo sabi del memad adadu ya ti ako talsil sa director of Bureau of Public Safety akti so al assura senator Basilio Solwase milangad adu al mal masada kay el community outreach الموسم إذا المرايل من ضوء الجيل تجد الإشيو رادراكس من first thing he has plans and we're going to be putting that in place ترى المال اللي مرة الواسع president aware تيang مالدوم تجد appointment را كاجد اللي بس الديركتور الملكت مقرل السيلز تجد الترا step المسوقيد تجد fight against the drugs that we're facing as a community. Makmal merang asuliw at alam no sub edel meling nga kumarang alwasigida lakongir rogul wasing gire dal makal rogui arangalela community emo loa imadar tegi del tora drugs. Aklamutan mo melek kalmortirge lo mesertiang mo si wasi seldeng mara astereo 775-6654. Oo, leng agi kamamamlamray la agi ko ramlamray kuk mga odurar adrablo esel talgibo ya mallo ay seringi yak maningil wasi kami makom direkal loreng seringi adrablo. They do not feel safe. Tamadak talngarab lirir. Leng tegi del tora drak saul mang akmal tial appointment tra president tra el ang rangkal director elopta is timely leng waigel blal dunga director kida tourism industry ngirel mo safe tial community rigid inga mo subirar adal may malsum kidal other bela kal feel safe am karat expect tra ar okya rigid mel mo feeler say gidel that they're safe insecure at el balur belaw maktimal mre nga suli rate alam lo sa amal me madat ado lo sa amal ko ko ay cycle batokal talang tingil ti alurior el gimong at mokla mal look forward al mot makalurior lobang kamiw kagidam lame director mang abay sa el di era in der lalmand ya damos tatan moruro segi del outreach al mora communities girel tegi del toera adraks mamamal mewarang mamal mosba amal join forces with you mal marenga suliw tegi del te alal mle mar adrablu bolot ngel wasay it is a crisis maral giredal mo mal aswar al wasay giredal mot makalorior mamamal may garogul el dadul martiang mo reportan mo ra president mokut maklia plan al mo Lobangela Director Public Safety moving forward was makarabo the really address the situation. Yak mo melu salmel girel sel study girel auditor police health workers sama ay gagi the teachers salmil katmo kolomsub supporter selon tigol was do mesara increase auditor police mabola kalwala kita tial mal applaud til dim la kalwala bribe sel guys mang dire kalungil bo do message sel was segi tiatara au ulin sabi il malmol malmru rawngil lodior get their integrity intact ngil pay that they're getting for their work. Okay.
Sula, Chief Tamangil, ano final remarks?
Okay. Malmisulang chair Tipo ko rin asula la Madam Vice President, imlasip el alawar ka mamal me joinera hearing ertire kuk shera agel kuk elaurera ma challenges ka mame kuk kwadar sa agel korong mame ma ding sokora sokal mstate ala David mang kukra mo oreng asaw lindira ka APS first time ring ilme malukra mo madu ilme attend that session sa labang kami in the future.
Ali again. I just want to thank the chair and the Senate President for supporting the rehab facility. And thanks again to the Vice and the rest of the senators for inviting us here. Thank you again.
Vice, nakamal biyota, ang alagaling amal tigiri kaldi closer tiyal hearing. Hindi era ba the closer kamal di so kalogel waset tegi del bil babil diri kablem sendring ilmay. Tirgel 68 el began ten namo aklamote langara el began taigal positions. Tirgel 29 el diri kamne temne risant ayim lamo aklamote langara el daka radringi. Ako di so mo mangegi diling. Ako mda salo aseng amral agire del koramo telgib mo agresive emrar lo sigran adel mo ay galo bisling dakal spedel ngusong sar ade gi du kwase agim gragi mo. Makwadi duli segi del kamna sendai gal babil me magiman na dilo se. Ang sing siwa af audo da ngaringi de gilam lamas kami audo mo. Pero sel guk mo sa klaudo se uktara to magimir sel babil ngem me. Le segi da kumna sa seng kel ngaringi ungil babil me sel bolorun albil. Ito tirkli segi del milgat mokla. Makti momtera senet el mutumal mga suliw minister madiri kan mal congratulator. Habis sel direktor nga classmate nga makmal congratulator nga direktor elobot mal mga suliw rogur tel tel guknem sebedel gukay nga seul ay ga the share ul dasma teletal mo sebedel kay nga seul wasekadem gara gutmok lay galur. Mal mga suliw tegil tel etel hearing argida di mertegi di mamasim. Sulang.